Do you know where your punji pit is?
I wish I had a retort to that, but I don't even know what that means.
This is a warning to all living mortals. That who shall ever open this chest of demons will release 13 of the most terrifying ghosts upon the face of the earth. Okay, cut it. This isn't going to work. Let's try some nostalgia bait.
It's mighty strange. You looking happily range. I can't settle this in bed. Or have you picked your target yet? Listen, babe. Got your dog bite. Listen, babe.
Okay, that was better. But let's try something a bit more cinematic.
You about to witness hip-hop in its most purest, most rawest form, flow, almost flawless, most hardest, most honest, known artist. Chip off the old block, but old Doc is back. Looks like Batman brought his own Robin. Oh God, Saddam's got his own Laden. Off the hinges, oranges, peach, pears, plums, oranges. Yeah, here I come, I'm inches away from you, there, fear none. Hip-hop is in a state of 911 zone. Let's get down to business. I don't got no time to play around. What is this? Must be a circus in town. Let's shut the shit down on these clowns. Can I get a witness? Hell yeah. Let's get down to business. I don't got no time to play around. What is this? Must be a circus in town. Let's shut the shit down on these clowns. Can I get a witness?
Yeah, that's the shit I like. Let's start the Barroom podcast. Take it away, Jacob.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the show that apparently doesn't get any notifications sent out when people actually start this damn thing, even though I do it over and over again. And then Team YouTube always tell me, oh, have you tried fixing your settings? Maybe if you do something like this, it'll fix the problem. Like, no, stop suppressing my shit, you piece of crap. Oh, hey, how you guys doing? It's episode 144. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we surpassed the 3-minute threshold before the dropping F-bomb, so we're fine.
Too late now.
Thank
Yeah.
God.
I
I got your notification.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Well, somebody has to out there because I never get mine on my side of things.
Pal
you know?
world, more than pals.
It's a whole thing. We'll get to it later on. We're going to go ahead and introduce all of our guys who are joining us here for tonight's very special episode. I figured it like this. Whenever I play the Eminem intro, it's like, okay, things are about to get pretty hot in tonight's episode. That means I got a lot of things to say, and some people might get upset by some of the things that I say. And all I have to say is suck it up and deal with it, Buttercup. Rob, how's it going there, Robbie?
Fine. I just realized that it's April. This time last year, I had already seen The Beekeeper and Love Lies Bleeding, and I was looking forward to Civil War coming out. This year, I've not seen a new movie. But once again, it's April, and I'm looking forward to an Alex Garland war movie, so called Warfare, which is coming out next weekend. So yeah, it's just a year, and it's gotten exponentially worse at the movies. So there you go.
I got to be completely honest with you. Even if we were still doing the show, it would not be a very good start to this year. I have seen a few more movies, Last week I saw the new Jason Statham movie that was
Is it?
Working Man.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you want to keep your beekeeper thing going.
But it's like, you know, if you've seen one Jason Statham movie, you've seen them all. But at the same time, like, it's still one of the better movies that's come out this year. There's nothing that has this week. The movie that gets released this week is the Minecraft movie. That's the movie I'm supposed to look forward to.
So wait a minute. What you're telling me is this Jason Statham movie is like Mardi Gras boobies. You know, you didn't really ask for them, but you're okay. They're all right. They're nice to see. All right, you appreciate it.
And you're gonna leave the bare beads.
Probably expected to see boobs, but you got Mardi Gras boobs.
I used to make fun of Jason Statham movies, like because they were dumb action movies, and now I want dumb action movies because they at least provide some choreography, something to look at. Oh, sweet, that guy just was tossed through a plate glass window, which probably wouldn't happen in real life. That's fine. I don't
been a whole hour and someone hasn't shit on Trump. Wow.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
whole
you have something that's not lecturing, you know, from Hollywood.
Lecturing me about the patriarchy produced by Netflix and now being shown in the UK. That was almost a topic. I might make it a topic for next week. It's so dumb. But I mean, we've lowered the bar so much for entertainment now that people just like, hey, look, I just want Jason Statham to kick people in the face for 90 minutes. Can you please give me that? And it's like, okay, here you go. And like I said, it ends up being one of the better movies of the year. Not because it's great. It's because everything else is shite. That's how.
And now the award for best roundhouse kick, Jason Statham.
Mm-hmm. The best Superman punch goes to Eddie. How's it going?
I'm okay. I'm closer to the internet. Hopefully, I'm not going to cut out nearly as much as I've been. So.
Oh, you're already holding up pretty well so far here. So let's hope that train keeps going tonight. Our good buddy, Orange Hat Red Headphones is here. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm going good. I'm back for another couple episodes before things get chaotic again.
Yeah, I love how it takes you like a good 10 seconds to like, you know, respond to a question. It's almost like he's like on location. It's like, and now we're going to Chet Lemon here at Kennesaw. Where's your location? What's going on there, Chet? Hey, Dan, yeah, I'm here live at the...
After 40 years of that, you'd think that they like via the satellite thing, they tell the guy, all right, this is what we're going to ask you. Have your answer ready 10 seconds in advance.
Yeah.
You ever seen that video where the two guys go back and forth, but they hate each other? Like they're trying to, one of them's like
the local news. Are you talking about the local news?
Yeah. He's like trying to like do like a report, like something in an apartment building. He's like, hey, listen, if I was over there doing your job like I used to have, well, how'd you lose that job then?
Well, because
I was trying to get my thing to unmute.
Yeah,
that was actually the reason why it took so long.
No, she's gone. It's like they're having an argument as they're supposed to transitioning to.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't sleep my way to the top like some people. I just wasn't dedicated to the job.
Yeah, do I look like my name is Kamala?
Oh man, Cider, how's it going there?
I'm not high enough for this.
Yeah, there you go.
Cider looks like he's already regretted his decision.
That's how I feel every day at work.
Can I say? I actually like Cider clean cut. Very nice.
Oh yeah, I don't have my Hezbollah beard. Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you still have the long hair though, or is that kind of
Nope.
Nah, it's gone. Damn it. I kind of like the redneck mullet thing you had going.
After I did it and I was watching the Soup videos there where he and Ethan are reacting to stuff. I'm like, oh my god, I looked like Soup. I was just like, I'm so glad I cut my hair. I was just like low rent Soup. Is what I looked like.
Soup from Maine.
Yeah, Maine Soup. Yeah, I looked like Chowder. That's what it was. Chowder.
It's basically Soup if he was born in Maine instead of South Carolina.
Yeah. So I was like, nope, got to get rid of it. Can't steal that man's look.
We're going hot here tonight, so we're not going to do any of the normal questions that we spend 20-25 minutes on. So I'm just going to introduce all of our guys who are joining us here tonight. Leslie Tarkin is here with us here tonight. Neozoic is here with us tonight as well, calling us clowns and jesters in the chat over there. I'm looking at you over there. Who else do we got here? We got Kirk over on our Rumble side of things. Orange Hat is going to be in the chat. Dope Effects here tonight as well. Let's see, Terminator Joe, we got him here tonight. Lisa Dawn also joined us from Rhode Island. So she's in one of those type of states near you, Cider. So yeah, it was weird.
Yeah,
to get
Rhode
some
Island and Maine, right
This
next
is
to each other, man.
Also, my
Regular Hatfield McCoys.
my best friend and ex-girlfriend, by the way, who's been like watching the show. I think to keep tabs on me and my awful opinions. So there you go.
Hey.
Oh, there we go. So we have family in the chat. Is that what we're saying? No?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. That's what's going on.
Hi, Rob's mom.
Yeah, right. Really funny that echoing from Eddie's microphone. Yeah, good timing. Good job.
Leslie says that I'm salty tonight. I'm salty too. I'm fed up with people's nonsense. I'm done with the stupid people tonight. So yeah, we're not going to do any more of that. Biana Raj is joining us here as well. What does everyone think of AI Studio Ghibli? And we'll get to that later on here. It's stupid. It's just another gimmick at this point. Keith 56 from Maine. So there you go. I think there's 2 people from Maine now, which is 2 people too many. So one of you have to kill each other. I think that's the law.
It's not the Highlander. Nope.
They're all landlords, so this is gonna be fantastic.
We're way too spread out for that, Jacob. Way too spread out for that.
We're bringing old Maine back tonight.
Oh yeah, the ye olde Maine. Yeah,
we're bringing colonial Maine back.
Well, the name of the city that I ran for mayor for was decided by a coin toss, so that's not too far off from a sword fight when you get down to what that could have turned into.
It was a coin toss because you guys are close to Canada, isn't it? Like if it was like
no, it was a coin toss because it was between 2 Irishmen who probably would have killed each other if there was given any other option to decide.
Right, if it was like in Wisconsin, it'd be a gunfight duel, but because it's Maine, flip a coin.
Yeah. Well, quick little note here. My mouse is crapping out on me. It's been doing that for the last couple of days, so I either need to change the battery or just get a new one altogether. But I've had this one for like 3 years now, and I don't like to get new tech unless I absolutely need one, but who knows? We may be nearing that point. So rest in peace for my mic, which my mouse, I should say, which is totally not working right now. But let's go ahead and get this show started. Like I said, there's a lot to cover here tonight, so I want to try to get through as much as possible here. Let's start with this guy, Morgan Wallen, who is a superstar, country star at the moment. I remember he was doing a stadium show here in Atlanta. I think it was like last year or like a year and a half ago. And the nosebleeds at the Braves ballpark were $400. And I said, absolutely effing not. There's no way I'm paying that kind of money to go see that guy. But I know he's a big, huge star at the moment. He has apparently pissed off everyone on the left over the course of the last couple of days due to the way he chose to exit his appearance of Saturday Night Live. Now, he was on Saturday Night Live as the musical guest for the show. And there was a number of things that happened both on screen and behind the scenes that a lot of people are now openly complaining about because they don't like how he treated the guests by not acknowledging them. So it all started with this right here. He was hosting the show with that Mickey chick from the Nora movie who just won Best Actress a few weeks back. This is how the show wrapped up. Every show they have the guests there, the cast is behind them. It's like, oh, thank you guys for coming. Good night, blah, blah, blah. But here's what happened that drew a lot of people's ire.
How are you? Thank you so much to Morgan Wallen. I had a wonderful time. Thank you
And that's it. He just walked off and left.
Yeah,
so
I mean, I would have.
So this puzzled a few people. Now, right after this, I think it was about maybe 20-30 minutes after this, people were like, oh, why did he just leave like all of a sudden? What's going on with that? He ended up posting this on his Instagram account. This was him on his private jet. And he posted, "Get me the God's country." This was literally about 20 minutes after the show went off the air. He literally ran into the airport, got on his jet, and was basically like, "Get me the F out of here," right? So people were very, very upset by this. And when you look at the course of a few things that happened throughout the week and leading up to this, you can tell it was very, very obvious he did not want to be there whatsoever. Now, of course, some people are going to object. Well, why'd you show up then? We'll get to that here in a second, right? But let's talk about some other things that happened throughout the course of this show as well. So at the beginning, you know how they do like the little promotional intro that they do before the week of Saturday Night Live. Here's him doing his promotional intro, and he basically gives people the indication that he really doesn't want anything to do with these people either. So here you go.
Hi, I'm Mikey Madison, and I'll be hosting SNL this week with Morgan Wallen.
Mikey, congrats again on your movie winning so many Oscars. You know, I was also in a movie that won some awards.
Oh, right. Didn't Megalopolis win a Razzie?
It doesn't matter what it was. The point is that we were both in movies and we both won awards. So.
Like,
why does this remind me of something Cider would do?
I was just thinking that, like that. I'm just like, well, I would have been making all those faces too. I would have been like, well, I don't know about those awards, but
Well, he kind of looks like he half looks like Cider too, with the hat and everything.
I look like every white guy. I get it.
Yes.
I'm all the white man.
Because it's like, holy shit, dude, it's like Cider on stage.
Damn it.
So this is another thing that happened during the show. Like I said, he was basically there to perform. I think the musical guest is only there to perform like twice in a show and whatnot.
Yes.
So 2 songs, and then you basically like get the hell out of there. So this is what happened at the end of this whole thing. Like I said, my mouse is not cooperating with me, but this is what other people noted here too. This is going to come back around to something we talked about a couple of weeks ago, but this is him at the very end of his performance.
Copyright strike.
Go Balls, baby.
So
Go
again,
Balls?
he
Like
said, "Praise the
Tennessee?
Lord and go Vols," which is obviously
Yeah.
a reference to the Tennessee Volunteers. So if you
just
guys are in the
lost.
South,
Yeah.
not a great showing for the Vols fans out there. It was pretty oof, but then again, they did better than Kentucky. So I mean, you have that
True.
going for
It's
you.
true.
So yeah, a lot of people have opinions about how this whole thing went down. Kenan Thompson just recently did an interview basically addressing the controversy here because, like I said, this is a controversy. Yes, this is a legitimate controversy that's been covered now for days because people are very, very angry that he showed up and literally walked away before, I guess, the show was technically over. He saw what happened in the video. He hugged the actress and then literally like walked off. Like, okay, I'm done now. My contractually obligated performance is over here. So Kenan did an interview, and apparently, he took some slight to some of the things that happened here throughout the course of the week. Kenan Thompson. Exactly right. Kenan Thompson told the Entertainment Weekly that he definitely saw it when Morgan Wallen walked off the set of SNL at the end of the show. The host and musical desk typically stay to hug the cast and everyone as the end credits play because that's tradition. But Wallen performed 2 songs on SNL and then got the hell out of there. And then his post after the fact upset a few people too. And says, "I don't know what's going through people's minds when they decide to do stuff like that." Thompson told Entertainment Weekly, referring to him walking off. "I don't know if he really understood the assignment or not, or if he was really feeling a certain way." Kind of felt like he was feeling a certain way. Wallen's SNL walk-off went viral, prompted speculation on social media about whether the country star had a good experience at SNL or not. The singer then posted a photo of a private jet saying, "Get me to God's country," only fueling the rumors that Wallen hated being at SNL. That you see someone before you get a chance to say hi or good job or anything like that, and they're dipping, Thompson said, basically confirming that Wallen did in fact leave the building immediately after that endpoint at SNL. So that was not a bit. He literally just took up and left. So I thought maybe he had to go potty or something. It was definitely a spike from the norm. We're so used to everyone turning around, high-fiving us and saying, "Good job, good job, good job." So where's the departure from that? It was like, I wonder what that's about, right? Now, sources from Wallen's camp tried to deny that there was any tension between SNL. Straight to the singer had a good time, had no slight intended in his Instagram post, but obviously other people felt otherwise. And then I think we said here that, it says, seems like it was a complicated individual, I guess. He said Prince did the same thing in terms of walking off the stage. I'm not saying Morgan Wallen is Prince, but we weren't surprised because Prince is notoriously standoffish. It's just how he is. Excuse me.
What?
Said we were right. So then we were thought we were like, okay, he's gone back into fantasy land. But Saturday, I guess it was just different because it felt like it was so abrupt, and we had already had such a small grouping on stage anyway. So it was like, oh wow, It was pretty visible. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty visible thing. Obviously, this is the whole God's country reference. We'll talk about this here in a second. Now, there's two other things that I think are very important to why Morgan did what he did, which could be very interesting to how he responded here. But I'm only going to get your thoughts on the first part of this article here. We'll start with Rob. What's your take on Morgan Wallen exiting stage left, quite literally?
Yeah. Well, when I saw it, I kind of I didn't think it was going to be a big deal because basically the show is over. I mean, you do the curtain call where you say goodbye to the audience and everybody embraces or whatever. But like, here's the thing: if you know anything about Morgan Wallen and some of the quote unquote controversies that they've tried to kind of cancel him with, and I mean, his fan base loves the shit out of that guy. Like, and he has a huge fan base. Like, he's been successful. Everything he's put out has done incredible business. So listen, I've never listened to the guy. I probably wouldn't be my thing. Not interested in his music, but I understand, like, if you're not from a big city or you're not used to the art scene, not to mention some of the commentary people have just said about on SNL that are part of the current cast have said about like his fan base, basically flyover country. Some of the things they've said, it's like you can understand why he didn't really want to hang out, why he didn't want to pretend to be people's friends that he frankly doesn't know. To me, it's completely disingenuous to do that, where it's like, if you're welcomed by people and you want to be there, that's fine. But if you're not genuinely connected to these people and it's not your scene, it's not what you want to be a part of, it's completely fine to leave. He fulfilled his obligations. Yeah, I mean, it is tradition for the musical guest along with the regular guest to kind of, but that's for the cameras. I mean, really, if it's like, are you bummed that he didn't come to the after party? Did you really care? And then the conspiracy side of me looks at this whole situation like this is just another propped up culture war, facade debate where it's like you have obviously like, red state conservatives love Morgan Wallen and the, coastal liberals are going to be like, he didn't meet the traditional. And it's like, since when do you guys care about tradition? What the fuck are you talking about? So whatever, taking it on as if it's real. Guy didn't do anything wrong. It is a little bit of a, he is kind of poking them in the ribs a little bit, saying, get me to God's country. But if that could just also be genuinely how he feels, where he's just like, okay, I've been in New York for a week. I want to get out of here.
Get me away from these godless liberals.
Get me home. You know what I mean? I can see it without kind of jumping to conclusions where it's like, oh, he's trying to provoke a reaction. It's like, he doesn't give a fuck about you. He knows you're not his audience. So why would he spend any second longer than he has to trying to perform or dance a jig for you, so to speak?
Yeah. And I'll talk about this on the back end of this, but I want to get to Eddie here for a second. What's your takes on the Morgan ditching Saturday Night Live? Are you upset that he didn't embrace the cast, the weirdly feminine, non-binary looking cast?
It was really strange. Like, I was watching it, like the little thing there. And if you watch it at the beginning of it, when she's saying goodbye to everybody, you could see two people making out, like two dudes making out in the back. And I'm like, you realize that there's like, if there is like a culture war thing to this, you realize there's a camera in front of Morgan. He looks at the camera. He's seeing two dudes make out in front of, like, who wants to sit here for this? So of course he's going to go walk off on this. And I'm actually quite surprised he's really popular. Like, he's going to have a show here pretty soon. And,
I mean, if you're anywhere in the country and you go like a big stadium, was it country show? It's like it's going to be packed out.
I might go. I saw Garth Brooks back in the day. I might go to this. Just for this whole thing. I like to point out, incredibly, you can tell that he has white privilege because he got from the middle of Manhattan to either JFK or LaGuardia in less than 20 minutes.
Helicopter.
I mean, that's white privilege. So this dude, fucking, maybe there's a point to this.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but there you go.
Orange, what's your take here?
I may not be overly religious. However, I do feel that this or I wouldn't want to stay there either, considering that they did fucking a bunch of Satanist expressionism the last couple weeks. I wouldn't. I mean, the fact that Mikey Madison was the host and getting a bunch of awards and praising the sex community, what wouldn't want to push this guy off that stage? It's like, dude, I don't want to hang around with these people. If I was up there, I would have been making the same damn expressions. I would have been, I don't want to be here. I really don't. And it's like, oh, you're upset because I'm sorry, I just fell outside of my comfort zone and just wanted to get the hell out. Well, why are you so uncomfortable? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because you guys were fucking joking about drinking blood and having sex with demons. Get the fuck out of my life. Get me back to God's country. Let me take a dip in a river.
This God-fearing country boy from Tennessee was a little bit upset about the open Satanism you guys were doing a couple of weeks ago, and probably doesn't want to be associated with you people. Who could have ever seen such a thing coming?
I mean, that's basically what I was reading off of that whole thing. It's like this dude just didn't or no longer wanted to be around there. He was contractually, or he fulfilled his contractual obligation. And it's like, look, yeah, I get it. You guys are all into your own thing. But don't you dare come after me for exercising my own beliefs. You have no right. You have every right to exercise your own and joke about freaking worshiping Satan. But me, I step off a plane and want to go, or I step out of the building and want to go out or go home. And you all are freaking coming at me. I will tell you right now, don't ever freaking invite me onto your show again. That is what I would say. Don't ever come at me inviting me onto your show after you just freaking attacked my character for leaving and wanting to get out of there for feeling uncomfortable. Yeah, I felt uncomfortable. I'm not afraid to admit it. That is what I would do if I was this country singer. This Morgan, what's his name? Wallen.
Dude probably showed up like 10 minutes before they went live, did his 2 songs, and got the fuck out the fastest he could.
But that's the thing. He could have left right after his second song, but he didn't. He stayed to the end of the goodbye or whatever. So
he was professional about it. And the fact that Keenan has any freaking the fact that he has any sort of umbrage about it, it's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Every time somebody does something that is the least bit, the tiniest bit offensive to you, you freaking go off like it's the end of the world. Forgive me. Let me play the world's smallest violin for you.
I thought he was going to say the gayest violin.
Yeah.
Well, that too.
Right. Cider, what's your take on this? Since you look just like Morgan Wallen.
Anyway, I look like every white guy. Remember when Ray said that she's all the Jedi? I'm all the white guys. So, anyway, are any of you from the sticks? Have any kind of background with, country folk, as it were?
No.
A little bit. I've dealt with some woodies before.
I'm in the mountains. What do you think?
Yeah. So, like, when you go into the city, it's not a good time. It's really not. First 10 minutes, it's like, wow, everything's really tall and made out of a lot of brick and concrete, and it's loud and it's like sensory overload. But after a few hours, it stinks. It is loud. It's a headache, and everything is echoing everywhere all the time. And so spend a week in that. Spend a week in that when you're used to, the crickets at night. When you're used to hearing the branches colliding against each other out just about 10 feet away from your house, You're used to hearing animals. You're used to seeing long for him, where he's got to go flat land, seeing a bunch of flat land for a long time. And then you come out here and you see these buildings everywhere. People are everywhere. All this crime, this just agony everywhere you go. So, irregardless of how he thought about SNL, that would have been the impetus to say, "Give me back to God's country." Now, as someone from the sticks, we find that funny. So I think he found it was hilarious. He thought it was absolutely hilarious. He and everybody on that private jet probably laughed their asses off all the way back below the Mason-Dixon line, having a great time with the joke that he walked off stage, got on a helicopter in the parking lot, and went all the way to the airport and left as quick as he didn't even stop to tinkle. And he probably thought that was hilarious. He went home, probably told all of his family. They all slapped their knee. Oh, that's hilarious. Had a great time with it because that's country folk humor. Like as soon as I could get out of the city, I did. I had the helicopter waiting right there in the no parking zone. and that's and that's what happened is he probably had a great time with it. And that's why his PR office is like, dude. And he's like, what? I didn't do anything wrong. And he's showing all of his friends and all this stuff, laughing about it and everything like that. And all of his fans are having a great time. And he's probably trying to explain to him, like, everybody who spends money on me thinks this is hilarious. And everybody who doesn't thinks this is scary. The thing I want to say about actors is I used to be a stage actor. And so I know what this attitude that Keenan has. Did you pick that up? He says, we're used to having people turn around and tell us we're so special and we're so perfect and we're so wonderful. And now when somebody didn't do that, well, he's got to die. And so this is
we're so used to people kissing our ass when somebody doesn't. It's like, what the hell's wrong with this guy?
We are the cheerleaders of America, sir. And so that's the kind of attitude that Keenan has here. So imagine that just being on stage with that. That didn't show up in that interview. That was there the whole time. And you bet a country singer hanging out in New York with a bunch of these people that have been born and bred in a system of abuse. Well, how about it? They're probably not going to be too quiet about what they think about Trump and Elon and his politics. And meanwhile, he's got to keep his mouth shut or else he'll create a shitstorm. And so, yeah, he walked right off there. And again, I want to tell you, as a country person, I find that fucking hilarious. He probably laughed his ass all the way home about walking right out the door. He practically shoved the cameraman out of the way to get out of that building. That's hilarious.
And SNL is a New York institution, after being around for 50 years now and live from New York at Saturday night. And think about how the average person who lives and works in New York City feels about the fact that they make it and it's such a hard place to live but it's worth it and all that bullshit humor. And by the way, I love New York City, but it's a city, so that's all I'm gonna say. And it's got a lot of problems, a lot of corruption. But it's like, think about how those celebrities feel. Like it's almost like he's paying disrespect to them because their egos are so inflated, are so hyped up, and they're such narcissists. They're like, he's rejecting me and us and what
these people
the very
are
best of this city. And it's like, shut the fuck up, you narcissist, please.
These
and
people
it's like,
are in such a bubble that they created amongst themselves. So somebody comes in there and just pokes it just a little bit. They can't handle it. They literally can't.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, Rob.
Oh, I mean, I was pretty much done, but it's just like, it always amazes me how these people like reveal themselves. They just think everybody's going to accept what they have to say and not question them. And it's like, look, nobody's going to remember this in a week because SNL isn't what it used to be as a cultural institution or just, basic entertainment. And Morgan Wallen's going to go on and he's going to sell out his concerts and he's going to sell records. But this is just one of those stories that gives you an insight to how these people really view themselves and the rest of society, where it's like they let that mask slip and you kind of see that ugliness kind of come out.
They're so special.
A couple of added things have come out since this whole thing got started here. So you see a picture of Joe Jonas, who was also on Saturday Night Live last Saturday.
He's still alive? Wow.
Yeah, apparently. So he was in a skit. He was in a skit called Big Dumb Line, which featured Mikey Madison, a bunch of gay people, basically singing about, their favorite things to do in New York City from kind of a Southerner's perspective, right? And it was the whole like running bit of the joke. They wanted Morgan to be in the bit, right? They wrote this with him in mind, thinking like, oh yeah, here we wrote a bit for you. Come up there and then hold the stupid thing, kind of make fun of yourself. And he basically not so subtly told them to go fuck themselves. Like he was like, I'm not doing that.
I'm not gonna do your dumb hip joke.
He said, I don't put on the dress.
Exactly. So
homie, don't play that.
Good for
So
him.
another thing, they're a little butthurt because that he didn't play ball with them and do the little ha ha skit with them. So like I said, quite literally, here was the setup here. Now some people are going to get upset and be like, "Well, why did he show up there anyway? He shouldn't have done it if he hated it so much." Well, let me let you in on a little secret here, because maybe this is something I can smarten you guys up with. Why did he do it? Well, look who's his music label. If you look at his music label, it is Republic and Mercury. Do you know who owns Republic and Mercury? Universal Movie Group. Do you know who Universal Movie Group plays footsie with? NBC Universal. Do you know what network NBC happens to be on with Saturday Night Live? You can put the dots together yourself there. So this was a contractual obligation because he had to promote his upcoming album. So they told him, hey, go do Saturday Night Live because, a lot of people are going to go see your performance and they might buy your album. This is all part of the promotion that he had basically no say in. So from his perspective, this is a guy who, keep in mind, this is the same guy who likes to go to like Kid Rock's bar in Nashville and get in fights, get drinking, be merry with people, right? So the idea of like I said, this country boy from Tennessee going up to New York City, one of the most godless liberal places in the entire country, hanging out with a bunch of they, thems, and non-binaries and lesbians, all that crap, with a group of people who, like I said, just a couple of weeks ago did this. While they were on, say, this was Lady Gaga's performance just 2 weeks ago. So you have to go and hang out with these people over there for an undisclosed amount of time. One of the guys in this skit also played the gay Jesus. That guy right there, the gay Asian guy, played the gay Jesus in what was the movie Dix the Musical. So
Yeah.
a lot of blasphemy running all rampant with this cast and group of characters. And you surprised that for some reason Morgan Wallen didn't want to be associated with you people for longer than 90 minutes and then got the hell out of there at the very earliest part he possibly could? Is this what you guys are really upset about now? Oh yeah, I'm shocked that he didn't want to stay and hang out and hug it up with you people.
And I mean, here's the thing. Just take the demonic thing out of it. Mm-hmm. Do you really want to hang out with a bunch of fucking lame theater kids? Like, who are just like, hey, this is really funny. It's like your 3-year-old. It wants to put on the show and they think it's hilarious. And you're just like, yeah, okay. You know what I mean? And that, whatever, take the kid out. But it's like, it's not an enjoyable environment. It's not something. It's like the nerds have become the popular kids, but you don't want to hang out with them because they're lame as shit. And like, they don't bring anything to the party or the conversation. And so, hey, Rick,
you know what it's like? It's like having to hang out with your wife's friends and you hate them, but you can't say anything because it's going to upset your wife. So you just sit there and take it for as long as you're legally required to. Yeah.
See, the key there is from the start, tell her how much you hate her friends. So
make that part of the prenup.
And then you make her fall in love with you. And then she has to accept it because it was there from the start. You always hated her friends and you were honest about it. But your dating success might not be great. That's just my 2 cents on that topic.
Yeah. And just real quick before we get to our last thoughts on this one, it's made official about a few minutes ago that Morgan Wallen is now selling Get Me the God's Country merchandise on his own site. So he's cashing in on this.
I told you.
It's only going to make people even more upset.
I told you. Everybody in the South thinks that's hilarious that he just walked right off the stage, pretty near shoved the cameraman out of the way, got on a helicopter, got on a plane, and said that. They think that's hilarious.
And of course,
it's funny though that SNL when it started was okay. Yes, I know it was on NBC and whatever, but it was kind of as an idea, kind of punk. Like they were destroying conventions or at least trying to upend them, subvert certain things. And it's like they just got out like rebelled or whatever by a fucking mainstream country music star who was like, this shit's fucking lame. See ya. And so the whole culture, the thing right now is just so fucking weird where it's like, why is like the conservative country music guy way more like, individual and doing what he wants to do and basically cool because and like the counterculture is fucking corporate as hell. And like, what the fuck is going on? What is happening?
Because the boomer executives over at Republic still think that you have to go on Saturday Night Live to be popular and get your music out there.
The counterculture is a culture now.
the guy filled up is filling up football stadiums all around the country. Like, he doesn't need Saturday Night Live. If he doesn't want to be there, it's like, no, it's all just wasting everyone's time.
So that had less to do with him getting the benefit and that more to do with them getting the benefit. You have to understand, these music stars don't come around, and they don't even come around when they're advertising a new album or anything like that. You get U2 Bono on there. He's just Bono. He's just Bono doing Bono things on there. They don't bring people on. Sometimes they have an album for sale at the same time that's launching sometime soon. Sometimes they have a concert in the area, but that's rarely ever incorporated into what's going on with it. It is, guys, today on SNL, this really cool music star that you really care about is hanging out with Kenan Thompson. And that's what they do. That matters more for Saturday Night Live. So I don't think that the music group went to NBC. I think NBC said, hey, USAID's drying up. We need some help.
Well, I kind of agree with Cider, at least on that part. I have not watched Saturday Night Live in years, and the only reason, love you too, the only reason that I watched recently was because Stevie Nicks was the musical guest, and I just watched her segments and then kind of just fast forward or skim the others. So yeah, I can see that. I mean, it's his right to leave. He's not obligated to stay and say, oh, thank you, I had a wonderful time. He really didn't interact with them. He just performed. He wasn't part of any skits or bits, especially that one that you guys were talking about, the one with Joe Jonas. So why did he have to stay? I mean, the man wanted to go home or wanted to leave. Let him. This is not a big controversy. You're not obligated to hang around and say, oh, I had a wonderful time. He went, he did his job, and that's it. He goes home. The story of his life. He does that after every concert. I mean, does he really just pal around with people after the end of every show and say, oh, we had a wonderful time?
The SNL of 15 years ago would have followed him with a camera, with that camera guy, that portable camera, out the door in the parking lot. And he would have said, I'm never coming back, and got into a taxi. And that would have been part of the whole show.
Right.
It would have been the whole skit. That, like, we brought the country music star to New York. He really fucking hated it. He's never coming back. That would have been part of the whole joke.
Nope.
Kenan Thompson would have been, well, whoever was the headliner back then would have been holding the microphone on stage like, well, who would have ever thought that would have happened? And then it's over,
I'm going to arrive late. I'm going to do 2 songs. I'm going to say, praise the Lord, leave early, and I'm going to get on my plane and get the fuck out of here.
The power of Christ compels you as I go out the door.
And what makes that even wilder is that if you know who was in the cast of SNL 1990, you're talking about Adam Sandler, Mike Myers, Dana Carvey, Chris Farley, Phil Hartman, Tim Meadows. I mean, you're talking about a legendary list of cast members where that would have been a worthwhile show to watch. So it's a shame that it wasn't, And
we effectively had Alan Jackson, the Alan Jackson of this time in SNL, and he got pissed off and left. They didn't make any effort to try and work that into anything. Like, they didn't even do the pissed off hillbilly gimmick where they just hand him a microphone and let him talk shit about New York. He could have just done that. No,
he could have done a wrestling, wrestling.
Cut a wrestling promo on New York for like 5 minutes.
It's just right
about New York City.
You have him sitting on a bar stool, and he's a spotlight on him, and he's just talking shit. And then you have the guys off to the side at a fake bar, and they take a drink every time he says something that they agree with. So the audience is boo as they're faking getting drunk.
Aaron Rodgers, how'd that work out for you guys?
John Rocker in the corner. I told you guys.
But again, like, they're missing it and they're going to lose it. That's fine, because you want to know why? You're going to end up with variety shows from the internet that are going to take over. You saw this with the press pool at the White House. They're sending all the legacy media to the back of the bus. It's all the podcasters and digital news groups that are coming to the front now. We don't want to hear from CNN as CBS. Nobody listens to you anymore.
I mean, I saw that trend 10 years ago. I saw that trend 10 years ago when CAA, which is the #1 Hollywood agency, started signing Vine stars. I'm like, why are they signing stars from Vine? Like, why are we signing YouTubers? Because they knew that, this legacy media stuff ain't cooking with the kids anymore. So it's like, it is what it is there. But we're going to move on here to another topic, which has already gotten some few people upset here. Sydney Sweeney has called off her wedding. Yeah, right. Sydney Sweeney has called off her wedding because she's not ready to settle down. And some people got a little upset about my interpretation of what exactly this story means. So I'm going to go ahead and read this one to you guys.
You mean conniving bitch wasn't well received?
No, not that. I could have worded it a little bit nicely, but
you mean my chance to motorboat you is still in that play?
So here's what happened here. So Sydney Sweeney, who allegedly has been engaged for like a year now, or a little bit over there. So you have to assume that this has been going on for a while. As we know, because we've documented here, her star profile has skyrocketed over the last couple of years specifically. So she's now the new it girl in Hollywood. Everyone knows this. And as a result of, fame and opportunities going upward, she starts looking at her current life here. It's like, I could probably do better than the one I'm doing now. When you read this article, you start realizing that she's wanted out of this thing for a while. And her sources are now coming out to spell exactly what happened of the breakdown of their engagement. Sydney Sweeney called off her wedding because she's not ready to settle down yet, which if that means hoe phase is coming. If you guys are in complete denial of this, then you clearly don't know women. As the breakup with fiance Jonathan Davido is confirmed with a source with the New York Post here, Sydney Sweeney split from her fiance has been confirmed with an insider claiming the relationship has been rocky for a long time now. It's like, I wonder why. Maybe, going around there, seeing you in a romantic comedy with another man and, doing a whole bunch of, other questionable things. I guess it got in the way of your relationship and things just slowly turned here. The source says that Sweeney did not feel right about tying the knot with the businessman. Apparently this guy is rich. I have no idea who he is. Maybe you guys can chat and tell me. Leading to her decision to end their engagement. She's exactly where she wants to be. And Inside told People last Monday, says that most people will feel overwhelmed by her working schedule this year, but not Sydney. She's all about working right now and very excited about all of her projects. It says what did make it overwhelming though was her relationship or her wedding. They continue. It says that she didn't feel right about it. A source said the Euphoria actress, 27 years old at the moment, says that she's in the middle of this magical career that she could only dreamed of a few years ago, and this is what she wants to focus on right now, her career. She's not ready to settle down, the insider said. They only lasted this long because it was hard for her to break it off. She didn't split because there was no love. They split because she just wants to focus on her career right now. She's a delicate flower. She's a free spirit, and she just needs time to grow. Have you guys ever heard those phrases before? You guys heard those things?
I like how her agent's her helicopter mom also.
Yeah, right.
Had a couple girlfriends use those lines.
By the way, her fiance was 41, so that should also, tell you some things that are going on here.
What's wrong with that?
We'll get to it in a second. We first were romantically linked in 2018. So this was a 7-year relationship that all of a sudden just fell apart in the course of the last couple of years. Popped the question in 2022. Sweeney opened up about her relationship during the interview on Glamour magazine. This is back in the last October here. Says, we're in this together, the Anyone But You actress said at the time, and we want to see each other succeed. Apparently not, because that was a lie. I'm very successful, independent. Oh, God. I'm a very successful, independent woman who's worked really hard, she continued. I've accomplished and brought everything myself, and I provide for myself and my family. Are you guys seeing a trend here with the statements of the I, me, my? Have you guys ever noticed that with certain individuals? You can be in a very healthy relationship and sometimes be very successful without needing a man, Sweeney shortly told him after dubbing them teammates. So,
wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Revenge of second wave.
6 figures. Yes, you can do that. That's not an average career for a woman, but yes, that specific circumstance can work out that way.
It's the revenge of second wave feminism.
No, she needs to focus on her career to make more Madam Webs. Is that what she's telling us?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, Jacob, I gotta ask, right? All right. So like Tom Holland, he's Zendaya's boyfriend. He's engaged to her. They're gonna do something here, maybe get married, or they get married already. They do that yet?
No, they're
I think they're engaged. Yeah.
Don't do it, Tom.
Yeah, so I
Run,
just now
Tom.
Sydney Sweeney's made herself available, and there's a Spider-Man movie to come.
Mm-hmm.
Can you connect the dots, gentlemen?
Gwen Stacy? I don't know.
I don't think Gwen Stacy. I think you're gonna end up with Felicia Hardy, the Shadow Cat,
Yeah,
the girl with the
sure.
big boobies.
Well,
the
won't
cat
it be
lady.
very confusing now that she was in Madam Web? How are you going to tie the two together?
They don't
Multiverse.
care. They don't
Because
care.
because you can't have an actress appear in two different projects in the same kind of universe.
They
It's
don't
impossible.
care, and you know that. They don't care.
No. We need continuity in all of this.
It'll be a variant.
We don't need continuity, Rick. The Marvel Cinematic
Art Downey
Universe.
Jr.
Yeah.
Reflect
Marlon,
that. Jesus
Marlon
Christ.
Brando,
Anyway.
Marlon Brando, and
Well,
Robert De Niro played
we'll
the
get
same
to
character.
we'll get to the stupid Marvel nonsense here in a second. I just want to finish this up real
Okay.
quick.
All right, go ahead.
Rumors of possible trouble in paradise started to swirl back in March, where they claimed that she had called off her wedding due to major issues, and Sydney and Jonathan have maybe major issues, but are not fully split. Well, I guess that's not
Major
great.
issues.
Things are not great now, but they're not throwing in the towel just yet. And then a few weeks later, they did that, so it means that all of this is probably a lie. You gotta keep in mind here, this is all coming from the mouth of like a publicist. Publicists, in case you guys don't know this, some of you guys may be in a bubble, but publicists are basically people who you hire to lie for you. Their entire job is to be liars. Is to make it seem like things aren't actually as bad as they actually are. That's the whole reason why they get paid six figures. It's to
Jonathan
lie
Majors
for
didn't
you.
strangle that woman hard. Okay.
Yeah. It depends on your legal definition of strangling, right?
Those are misleading camera angles.
It depends on what the definition of is. All right.
Yeah, right.
I did
So
not
it says
inhale
that-
that strangulation.
Sweeney allegedly could not handle the stretch of both the wedding and her acting career. Sydney is focused on her career, is really focused on her career. Jonathan wishes they were able to spend more quality time together, but apparently because she's the new it girl, they can't do that anymore. So she's been showing photos of herself without him and without her engagement ring for a while. It's only up from here, she wrote back last month. So now, of course,
Wow.
all the shippers.
The calling card of every OnlyFans.
This poor guy. Holy shit.
It gets better. So everyone, all the weirdo shippers for like the last 2 years have been trying to link Glenn Powell with Sydney Sweeney so they can be like, oh, you guys are so lovely together. You're both so beautiful. And you guys should make it. So now they're going to be pushing that over the course of the next few weeks. Now that Sydney Sweeney is available for the streets, there are people. She is single and ready to mingle. So in case you guys haven't figured this whole thing out, she's in her phase where there's going to be a lot of effing and essing, if you guys know what that means there. I'm not even going to read this here too, because apparently this started somewhat of the debate, saying that she chose her whole phase over a marriage. That's pretty much what I got out of this story. Meanwhile, the media is questioning why men are about their willingness to date modern women as if it's our fault, because you guys have all heard the articles and the stories. It's like, well, the 25% of men out there are refusing to date women. What's wrong with these men? It's because there's people like this. That's exactly why. Like, stop
They're not
acting
being
like
loud enough. That number should be 85% of men.
right. And then I got into it with our buddy Darnell over here, who is basically like, who's questioning whether she was in her whole phase, saying that, do you know that for certain? From what I read about her career, she wanted her career over settling down. Not everything's about a woman being a whore. So it's like, yeah, because you can't have a career and be married, right? This is what happens when you believe the lies of loose women. We'll talk more about this tonight, which is exactly what we're doing at this very moment. Before you say it, I'm not blindly defending women or blindly defending women who choose to be promiscuous. I'm just being fair by not condemning her choice. And then here's a picture of Sydney Sweeney mockingly licking a t-shirt with a bunch of dicks on there. So I'm pretty sure that this is going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy over the course of the next several years. So
I thought those were cats.
No, those are definitely not cats.
No,
Those are
but
definitely penises.
they got Charlie Brown in the corner there.
Mm-hmm. So I'll go ahead and start this one off with you guys here. Rob, I'll go back. What do you think of Sydney Sweeney being single and ready to mingle?
Yeah, there's a long list of beautiful women that I have no problem criticizing. For some reason, I don't know, Sydney Sweeney just hit this ridiculous like 9.7 out of 10 on a hot scale in the last 2 years for me, and I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. So, but anyway, I'm gonna try to keep it, be straight.
Don't be a simp, Rob.
I know, I'm really trying. No, because it's exciting to think about a woman I'll never get to be with, but no, it's great. She left her husband, who she wasn't really in love with. She's gonna run away with me. It's fine. But
Fiance,
no,
not
really,
husband.
Hey,
in all
that's what
seriousness.
everyone on the internet thinks. So yeah, go ahead.
Right. Look, I don't know. I can't say, but the idea that this is what women should do, that they should feel empowered, that they can, command that salary for whatever their skills are, I think is kind of delusional. Don't do that, ladies. That's a terrible idea. You're just going to strike out miserably. Look, she can do this. Sydney Sweeney can do this. She has the career to do it. I don't know what her relationship with her, her husband was like, or I guess they were engaged,
Yes,
but they were together
Beyonce.
for a while. They were, so whatever, but I don't know if it was more like her handler, if it was, her business manager posing as her husband. There's all kinds of arranged relationships in Hollywood. Who fucking knows? I know that she's from Eastern Washington, the same area that Sharon Tate was from. It's really odd, by the way, but I know, she is kind of taking care of her family, like whatever, but this is her decision. If this is what she wants to do, if this is what she thinks is going to get her success going forward, that's kind of the playbook in Hollywood. The talent among actresses really isn't there right now. So if she can get roles, I saw that, I don't know if it was an April Fool's thing, it probably was, but she has projects lined up. She's going to do pretty well financially. Whether the movies do well or make any money remains to be seen. But, this is not surprising. It's to be expected. She's 27. It's kind of right before, I don't know, 5 to 7 years before she absolutely has to settle down. So she's trying to make as much money as she can while she can. But she's not a good actress. She can't act. She's very attractive. So as long as she can passably make people believe that she's other people, and even if that's not the case, I'm sure people will still go to see her. So I haven't seen a whole lot that would lead me to believe that, she's going to give an Oscar, an Oscar winning performance. But then again, those standards are diminishing as the years go by. So
well, we saw the last chick who just won an Oscar.
Yeah,
So.
Exactly.
All you need to do is just shake your ass and you win an Oscar.
Hey,
we saw that.
Yeah.
So Leslie's question here, I'll address this towards the end because I got a few more opinions about this whole thing, but I'll let you guys go first. Eddie, what's your thoughts on Sydney Sweeney being a free spirit? And we all know what that term free spirit means when it comes to women, right?
Absolutely. It means that they're going to be free to spirit as much as they want, everywhere they want to. It's going to be fantastic. I'm happy for her. Good for her. Don't get married, honey. You're 27. You're fine. Don't be young. Your mom there apparently really cares about you. She's really hyping you up on Variety. So she loves the fact that you're bringing in a bunch of money for her and those pair of tits that you have too. Mm-hmm. So great. It gives me one, like Rob said, gives me a chance to get to motorboat her titties if I ever get the chance. And I need her to like in my like world, right? I need her to like succeed until she's about 36, 37, because then she'll plummet, like, because that's what women do. And so I'll be able to afford her at a discount when it comes to my Jeffrey Epstein movie, because I got a perfect role for her.
Well, this is the thing. We see this so much in Hollywood, and this is part of my rant I'll get to towards the end, but it's like, you wonder what women like Pamela Anderson, who, like, guys, I don't know if you guys knew this, Pamela Anderson about 30 years ago was the Hollywood it girl, the big boob blonde girl that Sydney Sweeney is now. So she was that girl back in like 1995 for a lot of people, right? And what you see here is that, whenever you get into this industry and, you have somewhat of a stable relationship going in, and then fame and popularity comes around, and there's this feminist mindset of, oh, I can upgrade and do better, so let me dump the slub that I'm with now and go find somebody else. And then the next thing you know, 30 years later, you've been married 6 times by 5 different guys. And there's a number of starlets in Hollywood who fit this bill to a T. So it's like, I hate to break this to a lot of you guys who are holding out hope that, oh no, you can't say that, she's going to be a hoe and a lot of things. Guys, I've seen this movie before. And I'm telling you, this is not the first time that I've seen it. Some of us have seen this too many times up to this point. You got to start being honest about what's actually happening here. Cider, buddy old pal, what is your take on this whole thing?
That's a hoe. That's what I have to say about this. That's a hoe. That's a hoe. She's been taking pictures of her butt. She's been putting pictures of her cleavage out there. She did an SNL closeout about her boobs. I mean, it's just, stop. Marilyn Monroe was cheeky about her sexuality and deliberately stood over the top of that vent to tantalize people, yes. But this woman is deliberately taking pictures of her ass, posting it up on Instagram, deliberately going out there and trying to sexualize herself. Now, I understand starlets want to feel special and things like that. We had a discussion about this, though, over on 01 about professionalism. When we're out here representing as an actor, you are your own representation. Sure, you have an agency that books you and things, but you're the one that makes sure that you're viable in the market. And that again, sexing yourself up, well, congratulations. Now you've told directors and Louis C.K. just what you get up to, just what kind of limits you're willing to go to in the public eye. And you've alerted all the Hollywood studios to know that, well, you're not being booked for Power Ranger content. You're definitely being booked for adult content. What's that movie with Tom Holland getting butt fucked in the bathroom? We'll see if we can do a sequel to that. And that's the kind of thing that you got to deal with now. And so Sydney Sweeney, rather than stepping back and saying, okay, I've been in this committed relationship and it mattered. All right. Because again, arranged relationship aside, you had an opportunity to not go down that route. This is the craziest thing that I hear about what happens in Hollywood is that people agree to do this stuff. I understand desperation's a thing, but you have to sit back and think about this once you're finally there and say, well, hold on. I got a Madam Web job. I should probably end this whole arranged thing before it gets to a point where I'm going to melt down in the public eye. Because again, this may not reflect on her badly at the moment, but over time, as she continues to go out and do these things and date and get caught in these various states of not so ladylike behavior, it's going to continue to look what happened to Billie Eilish. Like one day she was like this edgy, punkish kind of interesting girl. And all of a sudden she realized she had big boobs and that's it. That's all she does now is just walk around talking about her boobs. She makes short videos on TikTok all the time talking about her boobs when she's not depressed.
She needed to promote her two boobs to match those two Oscars that she has.
Apparently, one for each boob. And see, that's the thing, though, is that this is what you do is you end up reducing yourself to being a sex object when you do this. Now, again, like I said, Rob brought up that she may have been in a arranged relationship due to the age disparity. Yeah, whatever. I understand that could have been an arranged thing, but this is what I'm trying to drive at is that like once that Madam Web thing came through and be like, all right, Junior, I appreciate your help. I got to send you on your way now because we've reached the point where I don't need your boost power anymore. See ya, and that because again, like, what were you doing? When were you going to give it up? When you got an MCU job? When you got booked for 10 years being a superhero? Was that when you were going to tell this guy to shove off? And that's the problem that I have with all this is like, I've been through this. I had a fiance decide that I wasn't going to go places that she wanted to go and found a dude that would and jumped. 2 weeks after we broke up, she moved into his fucking house. Like I was beyond an afterthought before I was ever broke up with.
But here's the thing here. This is a common theme that happens over and over again. I'm going to bring up another blonde, big-boobed individual here. This is Sydney Thomas. Keep in mind, this is not Sydney Sweeney. It's a completely different blonde-haired girl altogether.
What are they doing to the Sydneys down here?
She was a girl, if you remember, I think when Jake Paul and Mike Tyson had a fight. What was it, like a few months back? I don't remember exactly when it happened. I think it was like last fall. And she was one of the ring girls for that fight. And everyone was like, oh my God, she's hot. She has big boobs. She's going to be a next star. And you know what happened? Less than a month after that fight, she broke up with her boyfriend. And this is a quote, not even making this up here. She broke up because she needs to discover herself right now, but before she started going viral. So it's like the second that these women get a little bit of attention, in a little bit of popularity, a little bit of fame, they immediately go, "Oh, I don't need to be with this schlub anymore. Now that I'm a superstar, now that I'm popular, there's gonna be some other greater guy out there for me. So it's like I can't be anchored down to this guy who I was with before. I need to go find somebody else." This happens time and time and time and time again.
And I do
It's almost
promise.
a vicious process. Go ahead.
I do promise I'm not defending Sydney Sweeney here, but I do want to say this. She I think her first role was probably Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as one of the Manson girls, right?
Mhm.
That's whatever. I'm pretty sure like the first role that she did that people watched was Euphoria. And if anybody has seen Euphoria, you know that Sydney Sweeney takes her clothes off. There's multiple sex scenes. It's like from the start, this is how she molded her thing. And I know that this has been a taboo in Hollywood for actresses that if they do the nude scene, then that's all they're going to be known for, you know. And I think that most of what Sider said, I would agree with. I mean, if she makes bad choices, if you make bad choices, that, you know, it's not going to work out well for you. So hopefully she has somebody behind her, you know, but like a business mind that's like, you know what I mean? That's good. That's leading her in a direction, because if she's just simply like, I'm popular now, fuck this, then she's just, it's going to be over in 2 years, if that. See, you know, 3 years.
That's why I think this is all like a business move, because we can see she sees the writing in the water when it comes to the MCU. It's not going to be the biggest hit anymore. She's going to get picked up for Barbarella pretty soon. She's a hot contender for that remake. So, you know, like, she understands that she now has to become a woman. Like, she's been a kid in Hollywood for about 10 years now. So it's time to become a woman, and now she's 27. She wants to go off with that's okay. I don't know if she needs to get married about that.
Yeah, and I will say this here too, kind of a little like I know it sucks for a lot of guys, especially ones that have gone through this here too. But at the end of the day, like I said, you end up dodging a lot of headache down the line, because these women are not gonna find happiness out. She's not gonna go find some story tell, Cinderella story after she leaves you. Of course, she might get married a couple of times afterwards, but like I said, Pamela Anderson, same woman. 6 times to 5 different dudes, and is currently single again. So it's like this cycle is just vicious over and over and over again. And because these women buy into the lie that there's always something better on the other side, and that never ends up being the case. Like here's a video from this chick not too long ago, like I said, right after she broke up, after viral fame, not even like actual fame, viral fame.
Literally broke up with my boyfriend. Had no problems with him at all. Like, he was great. I just broke up with him because I was like, I just need more time with myself.
She had to stand next to Tyson's ass and was like, oh my goodness.
I want to just focus.
So I want to hear exactly like what she said here. She says that she had no problems with her boyfriend whatsoever, but she just needed to find herself.
Problems with him at all. Like, he was great. I just broke up with him because I was like, I just need more time with myself. I just need to discover who I am. I want to be alone. I want to just focus on myself. And like, as hard as it was to lose him and like lose each other, I feel like it's all God's plan. It works out in the end. And, yeah, look where we are now.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
look where we are now.
After about 2 years, if in your relationship, if you don't know the person that you're with, then really, what are you thinking? I think after 2 years, you know that type of person that you are with. You know their quirks, you know their likes, their dislikes, their friends, their enemies, frenemies, what have you. You're not going to discover new things. So Sydney Sweeney, who had been engaged for 7 years, I think.
They had been together for 7 years.
They had been together 7 years. Okay, so she started dating when she was 20. Okay, and this other woman here, I assume she'd been with her fiance for a while. I don't know why you need to take the time to discover yourself when certainly I hope by this time you already have an idea of who you are and what kind of person you are. Now, I'm probably going to be softer on Sydney Sweeney than most people here. She's perfectly free to end her relationship, and I don't think it's because she's not ready to settle down. I think it's because she wants to pursue more of a career, and maybe, I don't know. I don't think that she and Glenn Powell are going to be stripping anytime soon. Maybe not. It's neither here nor there to me. But if she wants to call it off, she's free to call it off. But if she does, she should accept also that she might not find someone to spend the rest of her life with. I don't know, Rob. This made me kind of think a little bit of The Substance when she ditches the guy that's clearly interested in her just for her, and then she needs to pursue this dream of continued fame, continued glory. I don't know if it's the exact parallel, but it seems to strike similar themes of a woman who wants to pursue this ideal when there's something there that's less an ideal for her but would be better for her.
Well, the
I
reason
don't
that movie's brilliant is not because it speaks to women's pain and trying to be beautiful or whatever. I mean, and that's part of it, sure. But the reason it's great is because it holds up like this is what you want. You want the narcissistic, soul destroying, soul crushing, turned into this gelatinous blob of nothing versus choosing true, like a genuine connection, genuine happiness, a genuine relationship. You want the lie, you want the facade, you want the thing that's poisoning you to the point that you turn into this gelatinous looking monster. So yeah, I mean, that is to me a perfect analogy for what Hollywood is. But yeah, what her situation is, I have no fucking idea. But yeah, it's probably what Jacob says it is. It's somebody who's just like, well, I've got enough popularity, I've enough people notice me, look at me, like my Instagram photos, give me attention on Twitter. So
I got a million Instagram followers now.
Yeah.
So,
but they don't really know you.
Oh, I want Orange to go real quick, then we'll finish up with Cider.
Okay. First off, Sydney Sweeney has every right to call off her wedding and her relationship, as long, or if the guy also finds it agreeable to do so, then what the fuck is the problem? 2, Melanie Mack can kiss mine and everybody else's fucking ass for saying, "Oh, she's a fucking slut and this and that." Bitch, weren't you fucking advertising in a bikini? Shut your fucking hole. Secondly, just because this woman says she's not ready does not mean she's going out just to fucking sow her wild oats or whatever the fuck. Look, yes, she's done nude scenes, she's done sex scenes. Who the fuck are we to judge this woman? Also, not done yet. The whole Christian bit, no offense to Christians or Catholics or anything, you're free to practice whatever religion you want, but that does not mean you get to freaking judge people. I believe there is a line in the Bible, "Let he who has sinned not cast the first stone."
That's talking about.
But here's another thing.
Not judging entirely.
Well, it doesn't matter what it means. You don't freaking get to judge. That's up to the person upstairs.
Well, no, you do get to judge people. I mean,
you do not get to judge motorboating those big titties.
Now you also have to remember in that story.
My point being, maybe Sydney actually did a little bit of self-reflection. Maybe she actually did think about a few things. She's not ready for a relationship because suddenly shit's getting real the closer it got to the wedding. Maybe she actually did do a little bit of looking back and whatnot. Maybe she actually did or find out, oh shit, once I get married, shit's getting real. I can't do all the things I like to do. So maybe I would like to do it just a little bit longer. People tend to do that when they realize they're heading towards a major change in their life. It happened to me. It happened to a few of my other friends and whatnot. But the point or the major thing about Sydney Sweeney, okay, she broke up with the guy, and now everybody's fucking attacking her over it. I do not think that this is fair in any shape, way, or form. She can live her freaking life. She's a little bit more promiscuous than we have preference for. Okay, so what? I'm not here to judge a person for their freaking decisions. I'm here to judge my decisions. I'm here to judge my life. I don't give a fuck what they decide, as long as it doesn't freaking affect my life or affect society as a whole.
I gotta push back on this one thing. This is the glaring thing, and this is similar to what Darren was saying earlier, right? We're doing episode 144 of the Barroom Podcast now. We have quite literally for almost 3 years been judging other people's lives, right? So why is it all of a sudden that we're drawing the line in the sand when it comes to other people's pros community? Why is it always this issue that it seems like a lot of people get the most pushback of? They get very, very uncomfortable with. It's like we've talked about murderers, people who worship Satan, rape. Like, we've gone a whole range of things here, but it seems like it's specifically with promiscuity of loose women that gets the most pushback out of it all.
I think with Orange, and I think I'm kind of siding with Orange here. I don't think he and I believe that Sydney Sweeney is becoming this wanton slut who's just going to strip every man that she meets. She broke off her engagement. She's free to do that, and if she wants,
we don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
Exactly. It does not mean just because you break off an engagement does not mean that you're going to become some sort of rampaging harlot. You're just going around finding every guy that you're going to meet and just have sex with them. I don't think that's what she's doing. I don't think Orange and I don't see it that way. At least I don't want to put words in Orange's mouth, but I think we're seeing it from a similar perspective here, that breaking off an engagement does not equal promiscuity, does not equal whoredom, as you seem to be exactly suggesting. Okay, right. So I think,
but also another thing I do want to point out is something that a lot of us do not really lend a lot of credence to, mainly because all of us in this fucking panel are guys. Never underestimate a woman's natural instincts, a woman's intuition, because there could be something about her boyfriend. Yes, she's been with him for 7 fucking years, but there might just be that one thing that is warning her against spending the rest of her life with him. Now, whatever it may be, I mean, I'm pretty sure that women in the chat can agree that there is such a thing called women's intuition, and that it has warned you against certain things here and there. So there is so many things we don't know pertaining to this. Yes, we have judged so many people over the last 3 years. I am not going to deny that. And yes, I have been on that freaking judgment train myself, but I've also done a little bit of self-reflection in my own time. And the point my whole thing is, we do not know the full situation behind her choices. We do not know what's been going on behind the scenes. Yes, she is known for a lot of things. She's known for her sexuality. She's known for her boobs. She's known for her ass. She's known for all of that. I get that. And yes, a lot of people are going to judge her for it. Me, it is up to her to live the life she wants to live. And I will say that about everybody in this freaking panel. I will say that about everybody in the chat. And as for one of the things that Leslie Tarkin said, judging by words and actions, there's a piece of advice that actually came from a book, but other people have spoken it too. Mind what people do, not always what they say, for deeds will betray a lie. And that's my advice to anybody who judges people based on words and actions, because words can often be proven false through action.
I think there's a difference between this situation where Sydney Sweeney is ending her engagement, perhaps to pursue her career, versus between this and one of the Jonas Brothers' ex-wives, who was running around, boozing and carousing and
wasn't that with a mother? Her name?
And hitting
she is a mother. So there's a radical difference for me. I don't see this as a sort of promiscuity thing. I see this as her making a decision to end a relationship, which she's free to do. Now, whatever her reasons, but there's no proof, to my knowledge, that she's doing it to go around and cavort with Glenn Powell or one of the Jonas Brothers or Morgan Wallen or anyone.
The thing that I would say to all this, and like I post this GIF all the time of Kenan Thompson, the person we were just talking about in the first segment, but of why, and it's kind of related to that in the sense of like, why did Sydney Sweeney divorce her husband? you know, and it's like
Not
it's
divorced,
Hollywood.
and her
It's not-
and her engagement.
whatever. It doesn't. I don't care. It doesn't matter. But and that's fine. There is
Actually,
a legal,
it does in the
obviously
eyes
there's
of the Lord.
I don't care. I don't believe in God. The point is just like,
All
you know,
right, well,
it's like you're at a point where it's like, okay, you work and live in Hollywood. Everybody's going to assume that's what's going on. Fuck people. You know, if she is doing what's right for herself, good. Then the decisions she makes afterwards will point that out. And at the end of the day, you're right. We're just speculating here. We're just talking shit. But I would say that each of us, regardless of our religious beliefs, if we believe in God or not, we all make value judgments. Okay. And if you're going throughout your life not making value judgments, you're not living right. And that's the quote, True Detective season 1. And it's a brilliant piece of analysis because we do it to survive. We do it to protect ourselves. We do, you know, disgust exists as a survival instinct. You know what I mean? So just it's good to talk about this stuff just because at the end of the day, you know, we're all better off for it. But yeah, she's a whore, or she's not. And then there's a bunch of gray area in between.
A couple of points I'll make here, then I'll go to Sire, then we'll wrap up this topic here. A couple of things. One, I made this post many times on social media because when it comes from an unbeliever's point of view, the two things that they know about the Bible is that the Bible says, love your neighbor, don't judge ever, and then don't believe anything else that the book actually says, right? So there is no edict to not judge people in the Bible whatsoever. It says not judging others for their faults while ignoring bigger faults of your own. It's the whole thing of the speck in your eye while ignoring the one in your brother's eye. Is basically meaning that, hey, look, don't point out other people's faults if you're essentially guilty of the exact same faults, right? It's a point towards hypocrisy. I don't know if you guys know this. Jesus calls a lot of people hypocrites, like in the Bible too. So it's like, if we were going around sleeping with an aimless amount of people, going around pointing and calling people other whores, we would be hypocrites by very definition. So it's like, you don't judge people based on the things you've actually done. Well, look, if you want to sit here and pretend like she's the one saint in Babylon, we can go ahead with
I'm
that.
not saying that. I'm asking a question. Has she slept around?
Let's just put it this way. Okay, do I really want to say this? Yeah, I mean, I don't think that the split is amicably as her side is making it out to be. Her side's making it out to be like, hey, they just fell apart and, you know, things didn't work out. Like I said, that's the publicist spin on how this story actually
I know about publicist spin, but that doesn't address the question I asked. Everybody is accusing this woman of being a slut. How do we know how many people she slept with? Just because she has done skin, or just because she's shown skin in shows, does not necessarily mean she is. I'm not saying you are, Rick, but not necessarily means she is a whore or she is a slut. Yes, she shows skin. Okay, that's against Christian values. I get that. But how many people has she slept with, Jake?
I don't know how many people she slept with. I don't know her body count, but it seems like that what led to her breakup with her engagement here was probably that she wasn't being as faithful as she alludes to in this article.
That is based on, or that's conjecture based on religious bias.
No, that's actually based on the reporting over the last several months, because this is not the first time that we've covered this story.
But again, it's just what I had just got done saying. It's speculation on everybody's account, however you're viewing this topic, and that's fine. You know what I mean? Like nobody knows it, and it's the behavior that's being exhibited through Instagram, through posts on the internet, through her, you know, how the commercials that she's in, like the Rolling Stones, wasn't it the Rolling Stones video where they're going down the Vegas Strip and like she's in some tube top, and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's fine.
Or
like again, I like that she's been a part of like bringing heterosexuality back to popular culture. Like I like a lot of that stuff. I like Sydney Sweeney, but I'm being a cynical asshole when I look at the landscape of what Hollywood is, what that industry produces. Now, maybe she's smarter than that. Maybe she is. Maybe she's the exception. I don't know. I don't know, you know, but
put it to you this way, that there was a few comments that she had made recently that makes you think, well, maybe that was the case, but you also have to remember those were comments she's made before her recent rise of fame in the course of the last year, and I think some things have changed in the course of the last year.
I mean, that's entirely possible as well.
And Cider hasn't gotten his time to speak yet, so I'm pretty sure Cider's been holding on for
one last
a
point,
while.
though. One last point before Cider goes. everybody in the chat saying or judging by whatever on the internet and this and that. What you put on the internet does not necessarily mean who you are off the internet. You could be putting on a persona for all I know. Everybody here could be doing something off of the internet that we have no fucking clue about what they do. Me? Yeah, I'm a very personable person on the internet. Off the internet, I'm a fucking recluse. You come around my house, I'll probably want to shoot you. I don't want to be bothered. My social life is mainly on the fucking internet.
Just on the internet, I mix paint.
I'm very personable on here. Off the internet, get the fuck away from me.
Well, I have a feeling that Rob is exactly how he is online, which is a scary thought.
No,
I will say this:
I'm just an more aggressive version of myself online. I'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm. I might bite my tongue on a few things in real life, but my viewpoints don't really differ from one persona to another. But Cider, would you like to close this out here?
Yeah.
Oh God.
This is Sydney Sweeney swimming in a pool of eggplants. So there you go.
Very nice.
There you go.
Clip that.
That's all. That's it. There you go.
I like. If we are going to get away from this topic, then I'd like to have a little bit of pushback against the Pamela Anderson hate. She absolutely loved Tommy Lee. She was in love with that man. She married him 3 times. She loved that man.
She did talk about his penis a lot.
That's what I'm saying. Simps like me and Rob, we were interested to, Pamela Anderson, the woman, and everything else. But because we knew that, dude, Tommy Lee had a hand. He has a wiener schnitzel as long as the name. So come on.
We saw the other side of her in The Last Showgirl. All right, so let's just embrace her comeback.
I'm happy for her. I'm happy for all these beautiful, busty babes. Fantastic. America.
Well, from one bimbo to another, let's talk about Helen Mirren, because this is a conversation.
Dame Helen Mirren, how dare you?
So she talked about James Bond, and she basically stated that James Bond has profound sexism in it, and as a result, she does not want to see a female James Bond. There's a lot of questions about the current state of James Bond, because I believe the person who's been the producer for the last few movies just got the axe over at Amazon, so we don't know who the new Bond is going to be. We don't know what direction it's going to be. It's Amazon, so I say at this point it's 50-50 whether there's going to be a good thing or a total disaster. That is what you're going to get out of Amazon. But Heron basically feels like the character of James Bond is drenched and born out of profound sexism because, well, if you look at the character of James Bond, he really is kind of like a male fantasy character. So my answer to that on the quick side will be, yeah. I'm going to give you the answer that people in modern Hollywood love to give audiences. This wasn't made for you. This isn't for you. So here's what she had to say here. Amazon readies a new reboot of James Bond. God knows what they're going to do with that series. She admits that she never liked the British Spy series because the way women were presented in the film. It says that while the prospect of having a female actor take on 007 moniker has been bouncing around Hollywood for several years, in your circle, Mirren says that she isn't interested in seeing that casting because of the character's history. The whole series of James Bond, it's not my thing. It really wasn't. I never liked James Bond. I never liked the way that women were in James Bond. The whole concept of James Bond is drenched and born of profound sexism, Mirren told The Standard. Women have always been a major or incredibly important part of the Secret Service. They have always, again, lady, this is not your fantasy movie.
She's jealous not being able to call herself Pussy Galore.
Look, she's making it sound like these women are out here with their guns and they're like doing raids and they're arresting drug dealers. No, they're spreading their legs. 9 times out of 10, they're hoes, they're honeypots, they're going into these places, ooh la la, getting these guys into a sting situation. They're not out there gunning down drug dealers. That's an extreme scenario that they even end up with anywhere they're going to get hurt.
How would you react to Mata Hari?
And
absolutely ridiculous to sit here and try to say that these women are out here fighting on the fucking front lines. That's not the case.
What is
That's not the case in espionage.
Like,
Mhm.
that's one of the most effective ways of being a female spy is using your sexuality.
That's the
And
most
what-
effective
Yes.
way to be a spy. Look at what happened to the Sultans.
And
They
we've
were
seen
constantly
it.
fucking each other.
Look
that
what happened
way.
to that guy in California a couple of years ago who's still in Congress for some weird reason.
And what happens when what happens when it's usually the hot girl that gets to be the super spy? It's usually played by Pamela Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Full circle, baby.
It says here that women have always been a major
VIB
and
was a
incredibly
great show.
important part of the Secret Service. They've always been very brave. If you hear what women did for the French Resistance, they're amazing. What? It said they're amazingly, unbelievably courageous.
They didn't bake cake that day.
I would tell real stories about extraordinary women who have worked in that world. No one's going to pay to see that
She is
movie.
confusing two different things. She's confusing a
Mm-hmm.
fictional espionage series, which is built around girls, guns, and gadgets. It is wish fulfillment. It is male fantasy. She's confusing that with the real life heroics of the French Resistance,
Well, come on.
or some other underground movement. I mean, those are two separate things, and I think it's very interesting that a woman who agreed to be in Caligula is now getting all high and mighty about how women are portrayed. You know, I saw Caligula. It was basically porn.
Yeah.
Dressed up as porn. And here you are lecturing the people and telling men, hey, we don't want you guys to enjoy a series which is built around three things: girls, guns, and gadgets. There is nothing wrong with girls, guns, and gadgets. James Bond, the whole thing has been just that: wish fulfillment, fantasy. I think a lot of the guys here, the Bond fans, we know this, we understand this. I don't understand what she is thinking about. She's confusing real life with fantasy. And I love Dame Helen Mirren. She's one of my favorite actresses. I especially loved her in the Fast and Furious movies. But she's just so off the beam here. It really is. She's completely bonkers.
When I saw the article come out earlier, I think it was earlier this week, or maybe it was the end of last week. But I mean, I just thought it was a ridiculous thing to say, because it's like, first of all, I think you still have to be hard pressed to say what in James Bond is sexist. Why? Because women are women. it's like I'm sorry, and look, I understand the one-sided fantasy aspect of it, and that appeals more to men than women, but they're just fun. And I say this as somebody who does not like the James Bond movies. They're fun, silly movies. It's why Austin Powers works as a satire and a parody, because there's this beloved franchise, and they're like, look at how ridiculous it is. But Helen Mirren is a great actress. She has a long career of impressive performances. She's in The Long Good Friday, as the Easter holidays coming up. A movie I saw recently and got on 4K Blu-ray. She's a good actress, but this is why actors shouldn't talk. They don't know anything. They're idiots. They're paid to lie for a living. They're fed pieces of information like this that are half researched, half thought out of context, misapplied. And look, that's okay. You literally you make people believe you're somebody else when you step in front of a camera, and that is an incredible talent, especially at manipulating people and altering perhaps what they think. But that's just and for people who don't have critical thinking skills, maybe that's easy to do that if an actor or actress is telling you what to think, what to feel, what to believe. But at the end of the day, Helen Mirren is just another actress who's talking about something that she doesn't know much about, unfortunately.
It's interesting that Jill St. John, who was a Bond girl, and one of my top 10 Bond girls, Tiffany Case in Diamonds Are Forever, she was asked about, there's some people who think that taking on the Bond girl roles, and they had to call them Bond women. They didn't want to call them Bond girls. Like, they think they're sexism, it's sexist and degrading to women. And, they asked her what she thought. She said, well, then they shouldn't have accepted the role. I mean, they know what a Bond girl is. We've known this since Honey Rider, Ursula Andress. So it's nothing unique. They've tried to, do like more modern Bond girls. They've done that with Jinx. They've tried to do that with the Russian woman from GoldenEye. I mean, and then
Famke Janssen, yeah. Cassie will like that one.
They've they've not been they've not been terrible. I think Xenia Onatop is one of my top 10 Bond henchmen, as is Mayday, Miss Grace Jones. But men don't want to see like a female Bond. I mean, if they wanted that, create a female version of that, and I don't see anything wrong with having the idea of having some sort of fantasy about it, because again, all of us who, and I have seen all the Bond films, even those terrible Craig movies, we like the fantasy. That's why for me the Daniel Craig Bond movies are terrible, because they have no fantasy. There's no sense of joy. There's no sense of fun. It's all, he's miserable. This is a man who, his Bond would rather be on a psychiatrist's couch than on the couch with a psychiatrist. And that's just wrong. He's a miserable, morose, unhappy person. And I'm
not going to disagree with you, because I've only seen Casino Royale, which I'm told is the best one.
That is the best
one. Craig movies. And I thought they did a good job of making it fun, exciting, but still having that sort of tragic arc with Eva Green's character.
Yeah, she's in my top 10 Bond girls too.
But I can't. This is just an aside from this conversation. I think I got past Moonraker a couple months ago, so I'm like early 80s right now. I can't stand James Bond movies. I think they're so fucking ridiculous, but whatever, it's fine. They're fun, and they're fun.
Some of them are fun, and some of them they have been a little more serious. I would say
Look,
your eyes only is a little more serious. From Russia with Love is slightly more serious.
Yeah.
So, but again, it's fantasy. There's nothing wrong with men enjoying fantasy, because at the end of the day, we know we're kind of living vicariously through this agent who has adventures, fights off kind of over the top villains, and finds a beautiful woman who's sometimes like smarter or Bond's equal. Not a lot of the Bond girls are not these kind of wimpy, dumb women. They're actually very smart and capable women.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with that.
I never thought that, because every time I talk about Bond, I never talk about Bond with like a lot of dudes. I usually talk with Bond with a lot of women, because women find Bond to be a really big sex symbol, and like, but listen, most of the women I know that watch James Bond are fat, are lesbians. So they have like a connection. They have like a connection with Bond in like a deep spiritual level, I guess. Yeah. Maybe wanted to be like his sidekick. They put him in the back of the plane or whatever. They
want to be Q.
Yeah, they want to be Cocoa Beans as Q. So, like, I don't know what Helen Mirren's complaining about. I watch Bond. I love the fantasy. I don't even like the fantasy of even the girls. The girls are like, some of them are kind of mid. I thought Halle Berry was kind of off. But
look, this goes back to a topic that we just had about like a month or two ago about the companion movie, about how I was saying that Hollywood is basically trying to tear down the male fantasy. When it comes to James Bond, it's like people are living vicariously through the character. They want to be the cool guy with the nice accent and the suit, and he gets to shoot the bad guy and take the girl home at the end of the day. That's the whole point of like Bond. Like, quite literally, as I was saying earlier, Helen, it's not made for you. It's made for the guys out there. So it's like, if no one wants to go out there and see a movie about, Janice such and such, who is part of like the MI6 back in like 1984. No one cares.
French Resistance.
Yeah,
speaking
I don't know
of
what the
MI6,
French Resistance have to do with any of this. And look, it's interesting. She was the star of Prime Suspect, which was a very successful television series about a female detective and her various problems. Now, I've heard good things about it. I don't think I've seen the whole season, just probably a couple of episodes. So she's capable of funding these films about French Resistance fighters if she really wants to. I don't understand what a woman who is behind enemy lines in the French Resistance has to do with some man going into a fake volcano and blowing it up because he's petting his cat and trying to take over the world. I mean, the two things are just so diametrically opposed. She seems to just kind of be stretching.
You know what's weird about that? Like, we talk about the French Revolution. They had that one movie with the sniper in World War I, called Enemy of the Gates.
Yeah.
And it was a male sniper, and he's running around and everything. But then he meets a female sniper, right? And they're just as equal, and they shoot just as well and everything. And it still runs. It's all just set up just so we can have a sex. It literally is just so we can have a sex scene in the middle of this movie.
It's hot.
And I think right, and in the middle of like a shootout in the bunker, for whatever reason, we're just gonna have sex.
Oh man, they used to know how to make movies. Okay,
Right.
Anyway,
Wasn't that the one with Rachel Weisz?
To be fair, I haven't even seen Enemy at the Gates, but
But I'm like, is it like I could see if Helen Mirren was complaining about some kind of revolutionary movie like that, but she's complaining about what? She's complaining about a guy who goes around like.
Look, she's upset.
He goes in space.
She's upset that she had to be with Bob Hoskins in The Long Good Friday in 1980. That's what she's upset about.
Oh, she's not upset about Caligula, where she has to be
Hold on, put that picture back
out
up
with
of
a
her.
dowel and seeing all of these men and women naked and
I don't know.
dancing.
What orange talk,
Caligula,
though?
right?
This is me
Caligula's
trying to
horrible. If you look at that picture she has right now, she's angry. She has to play Strawberry Shortcake's grandmother. You see how red those cheeks are? My God.
Honestly, I don't know why she chose to pipe up on this, because last time I checked, there's these two movies that exist that she plays an MI6 agent and loves to shoot people, loves to kill people. Red 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And yeah, so her going off on the whole James Bond thing, she was literally in a movie in which she loves to fuck a Russian spy. So yeah, I don't know where she's getting off on this. The point, or her going after James Bond, it's like, or Jake, you're right, bitch. It wasn't fucking made for you. Shut your freaking hole. I almost said to see you next Tuesday. I'm sorry, I don't want to get you demonetized. But the thing, but her saying this is like, where is this coming from? This couldn't have come even out of left field, because this is just way too fucking nuts. You're literally bitching about something that you yourself have taken part in. Not James Bond specifically, but the MI6 agent role that has had sex with a spy. So you are a hypocrite.
Well, what's interesting
and a traitor.
What's interesting is that I do remember when they made Dame Judi Dench into M, to kind of counteract those ideas of Bond is a sexist and all of this, and now he has to report to a female superior. Guess what? He had very little problems, if any, reporting to a female M, and they ended up working well together because, again, she understood that he was a professional and there was nothing wrong. And they made some other comments about Miss Moneypenny saying, well, this could constitute sexual harassment. I mean, kind of. We never actually see them do anything. Miss Moneypenny and Bond.
You could tell that Bond was pinching M's like ass every once in a while. Just like,
do you really want to pinch Judi Dench's
Judi Dench's ass? Absolutely.
Judi Dench is introduced. They literally call each other out. They literally air the whole thing out right in that scene.
I just saw Belfast, which has Judi Dench and from 2 years ago. So
I would give her a goosing of a lifetime.
Well, she was the Queen Empress.
That's the great thing about her, or about that movie. She was also a freaking wind elemental.
The point being is that Helen Mirren is just making these very oddball statements for no particular reason. She's not involved in Bond. She's not a Bond girl. She's never been involved in the franchise.
She probably got passed up for a Bond girl. That's probably why she's so pissed off about it.
Like I said, she's jealous not to be able to put pussy galore on your resume.
So all this talking about female Bond is nice and all, but there's this guy right here, and he's way cooler for the job. I didn't like him as Superman because I automatically saw him as James Bond as soon as he walked on screen in Man of Steel.
But
I don't care about female Bond.
We don't care.
That's not important.
I'd love to see.
That's not important with James Bond.
What's the dude's name? Daniel Craig can.
Well, Sean Connery could act, and Pierce Brosnan could act.
Yes, they could, but they didn't need that.
Moore
they didn't really need
to.
But they didn't need to, though. That's what I'm getting at.
Could you buy Henry Cavill as James Bond with Sydney Sweeney as a Bond girl?
Sure.
It depends on the director for me. It's more about that.
Oh,
But
it would be
I
Sam
will agree
Mendes,
that
of course.
I think Henry Cavill does.
Phoebe
have-
Waller-Bridge is going to be the new director.
It's
I
over.
do-
Well,
I
yes,
do
he's
think
very
Henry-
pretty, but no,
Yeah.
I don't believe he can act.
She actually might be on her way out of there because
So-
of that other one being fired from Amazon. Because she was the one that brought Phoebe Waller-Bridge in.
James Bond as a character portrayed in visual media is simply a series of dazzling chin shots, angling various portions of his chin at the camera. These are fantastic actors, but they didn't do that. They weren't acting. You go look at what Sean Connery's doing in James Bond, and you go look at any other movie he's in that time. He's clearly like, I just have to keep lifting one eyebrow at the camera and looking at the camera like, fuck me. All right.
I have a cleft
That's
chin
all
and
he
I'm
has to
throwing some
do.
dialogue out of my mouth. Yeah, I
He
mean,
barely has any dialogue in the movies. Everyone's telling him everything all the time.
And then he's Irish. And then he's got the
He's
accent.
so fucking Scottish instead of British.
Exactly. So Henry Cavill not having the acting prowess of a goldfish doesn't matter. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not like with Superman when he actually has to like emote and show some kind of emotion. He literally just has to shoot and punch people.
He has to
You know,
just
he's
show-
he's just a man from
Didn't
Uncle without the
Didn't
mustache.
he already have
Look,
his?
Let
Didn't
the
he
show
already
with that
do-
chiseled
no,
chin, and
sorry.
he'll be fine.
He already had his shot when he was Argyle. We don't need him to try to.
that was a terrible movie, though. To be
Well,
fair,
And he's terrible in it because he's a terrible actor. He can't act. He's beautiful to look at.
Shut up! Oh my God, I don't care!
So here's the other thing, just real quick. You're going to get one of two Bonds moving forward. He's either going to be a black woman or it's going to be some dude named Muhammad. That's where we're going at.
Cynthia Erivo as
modern-
Bond.
Her name's Elba.
No chin,
Idris
no
Elba.
chin, no chin, Muhammad.
Mhm.
Terrible.
Well, you know, it's
Pakistani
interesting.
James Bond.
Remember in the last Bond movie when they were trying to pitch, what was it? Jennifer Lynch or Jessica Lynch or
no idea.
Judi
one of those.
Dench.
No, remember they had a black female who took
Oh,
on the
Lashana
007
Lynch.
Lashana Lynch, thank you. Yes, she was going to be the new Bond, and there was just so much pushback that they had to kind of reconfigure it to say that, oh, she just took the number while the real Bond was away. So they tried this, and I don't know. But you know, Viola Davis, you know, she's just finishing up her new action movie, so she could be Bond. We need her to be the new Bond.
Send her back to Africa for the
Oh my
Woman King
gosh.
Part 2.
You'll find Muhammad.
Oh my gosh.
No, send her back to Africa for the Woman King Part 2.
Yeah, and on that note, let's talk about Avengers. The cast for Avengers was released. The cast for Avengers was released. I'm just gonna go ahead and play.
Wait,
we're just gonna
Jacob.
watch this. What?
Wait. I have James Bond.
Oh God, man, we're still doing this.
Dear Lord.
Hooray.
Hold on.
What is it?
I'm sure.
Chris
I'm doing the
Hemsworth?
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Gotta
sorry.
undo the thing and then do the thing now.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
because-
he would be a good James Bond. He's Australian.
The name of the movie, Spy
You
Hard.
see,
Nope.
Pakistani.
Oh.
Exactly.
Muhammad. Bond and
There's a group of
Muhammad.
Muslim men behind him, and they've started a fire in the middle of the street. You
They
know,
might as,
There you go.
well at this
Q,
point.
I need to have a lift.
Q, I need
Get me away from
halal meat. Q,
Get me away
I
from-
need halal meat.
I need to get away from Pakistan. Q.
How many things can you make an earpiece that equips to the BlackBerry?
Yeah,
do?
I can
He goes-
see your
he
ankles,
goes-
Ashola!
He goes.
My cousin can do this at half the price.
Well,
you say the
I'm
British
telling
government is
you,
paying this?
if they do,
Look at
if they have a Muslim Bond, we're not going to get Octopussy.
He goes to the high rise. All of his gadgets are being put together. He sees the net that the people have to get caught in.
That's interesting. He won't be having martinis, that's for sure.
Nope, no.
Well, he'll be taken
So-
down by a pager.
Beep, beep.
So here you go, guys. This is going to be short. These are all the names of the people that are going to be in the next Avengers movie. So
Chris
enjoy.
Hemsworth. I know that guy.
Hemsworth, Vanessa.
I barely know
Kirby,
who
I
she
don't know.
is.
I don't know who he is.
Really not.
Invisible Girl,
Anthony
Anthony
Mackie.
Invisible
Mackie, I've
Woman.
heard of
real
him.
Captain America.
Blacked in America.
Donald Trump.
Winter
Famous
Soldier.
Captain America.
The
Some
real
chick.
Black Panther.
Nerdy Black
Alice.
Panther chick.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that guy
Ant-Man's
from
back.
40-Year-Old Virgin.
The guy that doesn't age.
I have
No
no
idea.
idea. who
White
that
man.
is.
Timu, Captain America.
No idea.
The Mexican.
Nepotism.
Ukul Khan.
Oh,
Namor.
yeah,
Oh, the
that
Jewish
was-
guy
yeah.
from the Bear. Yep.
Yeah. The
Oh,
Chinese
okay.
guy, right?
Pedal
Yeah.
lever.
Okay.
Oh, is it Chief of Florence and Machine?
Got a nice
one
ass.
of the
The
March
chick
sisters.
from
Frasier.
Stranger!
I have
Who?
no idea.
Sam Hyde.
Exactly.
Why is Louis
I have
Pullman
no
in this
idea.
movie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mexican.
Ramirez, and
I have
Yeah,
no
the
I
idea.
don't know
Sam
who any of these
Hyde
people are.
in Avengers.
Okay.
Oh,
guy
the
that
guy
cheated on his
from-
wife.
Oh boy.
Listen.
Okay,
That's
but
Black
there's too
Panther.
many first names to give
have
me. What
no
do you give me three
idea.
first names for?
Oh,
Okay.
yay, Loki's
Loki.
back. Yay.
Okay.
Oh, Patrick
Hey,
Stewart.
the
Old
Lord.
man.
Jesus,
An old
isn't he?
man.
And Gandalf.
Hey. Okay, Gandalf.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Rickroll.
That'd be funny if it said Alan Rickman.
I thought
That's what I thought it was. I stuttered there for a second. I was like, oh,
No.
Snape is in this.
I'm not joking. I thought Alan Cumming
Mystique.
died at AIDS like 10 years ago. I didn't know he was
No, he's hosting the Traders on Peacock.
He might as well have.
So they're bringing. So they're
The
bringing
dad
back
from
the
Sonic the
Fox
Hedgehog?
X-Men.
Hey.
Yes.
Yes, they're bringing a lot of the
Fox
X-Men.
After we just did the whole, like, Deadpool. Here, goodbye the Fox's Marvel stuff.
I hope.
Let it
I
go
hope.
already.
Look, hold on. I hope that there's
There
a.
was
I hope,
fucking meant to be made.
well, I hope there's a Sonic joke.
Oh,
Okay, I
yeah.
hope there's a Sonic joke, not a direct one, but I hope you got Cyclops. He's the guy who played Cyclops. So you got
Yes.
him walking
It's
in
gonna
there, and
be
you got
Doom versus Supersonic.
well, no. You got
No,
like
the villain.
Cyclops.
No, the villain will be Dr. Robotnik.
You get Cyclops walking into the scene, and they say, "Oh, hey, we haven't seen you in a while," and he says, I've been busy with the family," and that's it. That's it. That's the joke. That's it. It just reminds
There
you
you
he's
go.
been busy
Yeah,
with
that
the
would
blue
work.
hedgehog, and you don't have to
He's
say
right.
anything about it. Everybody goes, "Aha, same
He's right.
guy."
He's driving a car and Rocket Raccoon.
He shows up in a sheriff's deputy's car. Yeah, that would be a little much.
Right.
Right.
Oh, there's
No,
more
it'll-
names.
But yeah, continue on.
Channing
Oh,
Tatum.
God.
Gambit.
No,
Gambit's in the
no,
movie,
no.
folks.
I'm going to make a name for myself.
Yeah.
Anyone from Louisiana should
Looks
be
like that
royally
deleted
offended
scene
by
finally
that.
freaking
Yeah.
I'm
worked.
gonna go. I'm gonna go
That
play
deleted,
football
or-
with Bobby Bush. I'm gonna be there with Bobby Bush.
I have
with Mama.
I have a question to ask, right?
Mama said,
Mhm.
Is Channing Tatum the dollar store version of
Yes.
You Can't See Me guy?
Yes.
Yes.
Which
I don't even know who you're talking about. And I'm like, yes.
John Cena.
"Oh, I can't
Oh.
see that."
No,
Oh,
they're both
Jesus
dollar
fucking-
store versions
So
of
like
somebody else.
so when the Magic Mike movies were coming out, I never saw them, but they were like a conversation of my second
I would have thought
fiance.
you'd
They
be
were
because she worked at a
amazing.
I would
bookstore.
have thought you'd be the
and
first in line out there. The one.
No, believe it or not. So like my fiance would talk about it all the time because like look at a bookstore, everybody in the bookstore is horny all the time, whatever. And so they talk about that stuff a lot. And Channing Tatum and John Cena were the same person in my head for like 10 years.
Yeah,
That's
you're not
what-
wrong.
Well, Channing Tatum has
apart,
kind of a
man.
peculiar
Hold on.
look in his face.
Just for the record, Leslie says that her favorite characters were Gambit and Nightcrawler. And now here we are in 2025, and they're both being played by gay men. So that's
Channing Tatum is
Oh.
not gay. Channing
Channing
Tatum
Tatum
is
is
not
not
gay.
He's
Come on, yeah,
ADHD. There's a difference.
okay.
He's not gay.
Sure,
He's just-
sure. We'll go
He
with
just
that.
works out a lot.
That's why Zoe Kravitz was a beard for like a year while they were.
That's why in the film,
Yeah, you don't want to
this
refer to
is
them
the
as
end.
beards if you don't want to call them gay.
Yeah.
There's literally been 3 movies in like the last several years that have all openly mocked the fact that Channing Tatum is probably gay in real life. So I'm just
Yeah.
throwing it out there.
It's
Just
called
throwing
the
it
Iron
out
Claw.
there. Who else is in this shitty movie? Who else do we got here? Pedro
Oh,
Pascal.
Oh,
Next
woohoo.
Oh, wait.
Pedro.
I'm surprised
Oh,
it's
it's
still
Robert Downey Jr., guys. He's back.
So the better joke here,
Don't anyone watch this
I
movie.
don't want to be quiet.
like I can't edit this because I
Notice
don't,
how
I
the
don't know how
Marvels
to.
aren't here?
He walked out of there like Morgan Wallen.
Like I don't. Yeah, like Morgan what? He got in a helicopter and flew away. Give me to God's country.
Notice
Give me to Ultron's country.
where
That must
where
be
was
your baby
Brie
step.
Larson?
So
Brie
Where was
Larson
Miss
and
Marvel?
other people were not listed.
Where are they?
Why
In
you-
the
Rachel
other
Zegler
verse.
will not be returning for Avengers Doomsday. That's correct.
Thank
Um,
God.
What I wanted to point out is a really funny joke, but I don't know how to animate this stuff because, like, I just don't have that program to do that. But to replace all the names with Pedro Pascal, so as the names are going to Pedro Pascal, Pedro Pascal, Pedro Pascal, he's playing all of them.
And they couldn't.
The role of Robert Downey Jr. will now be played by Pedro Pascal.
Well, that's the joke. It gets to Robert Downey Jr. at the end, and when it zooms up, it's Pedro Pascal. We do the face replace on it, so it's Pedro Pascal at the end. Sitting in Robert Downey Jr.'s chair.
I cannot believe we are ignoring 2 versions or 3 versions of Fantastic Four. We're not gonna have space for Michael Chiklis to pop up. We're not gonna have.
We have to save that for Secret Wars.
Pop up.
We have to wait for that for Secret Wars.
Those are part of my generation growing up, and they can, like, we don't need them. They can burn.
You're not going to get Jessica Alba for Disney.
Yeah,
bad news.
By the way, Jessica Alba, just what as the Sydney Sweeney thing, that's how you do it. Okay. You have a nice little career, you get married, you stay married so your kid is actually grown up, and then you divorce the guy. And then it's like, I mean,
but she also
Jessica Alba also confirmed has herpes too, so I mean she's probably not a good metrics for this one.
Yeah, probably.
Well,
Hillary
did she sell some like nature products?
I don't know. Sin City came out 20 years ago this month.
No, that was Gwyneth Paltrow.
Are you saying she got that on the
Or
saddle?
who sells vagina candles?
So I don't think Michael Chiklis will come back for the Fantastic Four either.
Oh hell no, he's done.
I don't think he can.
Yes.
Jamie Bell is still available. Just saying.
Well, see, the thing is truthfully, I don't think that Michael Chiklis is as mobile as he once was. That fella did a lot of rough and tumble shit, and he got broke up pretty bad doing that
and
stuff.
Patrick
So I don't
Stewart
think he
and
can-
Ian McKellen are very mobile
Well,
right now.
look,
but to be
look,
fair,
look,
those-
Patrick Stewart gets to
those-
sit in a floating lawn chair. He's good, okay? And Magneto, he gets to float around on a
How
surfboard.
do they fix the neck that Scarlet Witch broke?
It was a variant.
He does this.
Okay, does that mean that John Krasinski could pop up too?
Yeah, sure.
He's done.
Everybody's everybody all the time, forever.
To the point, Michael Chiklis is the only one that I would really care about, considering the fact he's the only person in this entire row that actually looks like the Marvel character he played.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the Lou Ferrigno of this whole.
But
Where's
I
Lou
really don't think
Ferrigno?
he can. I honestly don't. That would be a fun one, right? You have Lou Ferrigno playing like the old Hulk.
Didn't the
really
Hulk and the
old Hulk,
Thing fight each other? We should put that
Yeah.
together.
Ruffalo didn't
fucking
pop
Maestro.
up in that I didn't see Mark.
I don't know about Maestro. I don't know about Maestro. I don't know about that one.
That's the old
Yeah.
Hulk. Nobody likes
No.
Maestro.
That's one of them. There's another one where Bruce ends up living to the end of the world anyway, and he's eating cockroaches and things like that to survive.
Well,
and Hulk
Oh
won't
shit!
let him
Yeah,
die.
that was the
it's
one where
That would be the
Thanos.
better one.
It's
Yeah.
interesting
That
that
would be the
they
better
have Patrick Stewart and Ian
Thanos'
McKellen,
pet.
but they don't have Michael Fassbender or James McAvoy.
So
Because
that's just
these
what-
are the older ones, not the younger ones.
Why can't we? Well, I mean, they're like in their what 50s
The younger
now?
ones existed in the 80s, 90s, or 70s, 80s, and 90s.
And we can't
You
try
know-
travel in this
2020s.
thing. We can't
know for
try
sure-
travel. Why
You
not?
know for
They
sure
did it
who's
with
not going to be
They
back
did
for
that
Avengers
shit.
though?
God, guys,
Jonathan
jeez.
Majors.
They
He's
already
not
did
gonna
that
be back.
shit.
Kang's not
Because he-
coming back.
But he didn't actually strangle.
Hey,
him.
is
He
Michael
was all
Pena
choked.
coming back? We
You want to know what they should do? No. You want to know?
I don't think there's any more of this topic that I can stand at this point, so we're just gonna.
Yeah.
go on
Jacob,
to the-
you want us to
Wait,
get
wait.
excited about this casting? It's like, nothing but, oh, look, we're going to get people that were in a movie like, 30 years ago, and we're supposed to be thrilled to have these people come back.
I love
Yeah,
that.
Jacob. It's almost like you don't realize this is clobbering time.
Ellen
So
Page
ever-
will return for
Hey,
Avengers
you were
Doomsday.
subject, man.
It's that video over and over again about, get ready for more content. Get
Yeah.
ready
No,
for
no,
more
mate.
of the same
It
fucking
was
bullshit.
So that's question.
Last point on this. The reason why they're doing this is strictly because they saw the they saw
They could have had this. They could have had this with Rebecca.
They saw the success of Deadpool 3, and so that is why they are doing this. I mean, they're working it into the Incursion arc, which Doom ends up saving the day in the comics. Spoiler alerts.
So they
what the fuck, bro? What the fuck, bro?
This is oh wait, that I got a funny story about to tell this image. Okay, so the first time I posted this on our Marvel memes over on Reddit, okay, it got like almost 200 hits. People were laughing, having a great time. Then it got deleted, and the mods were like, "This is totally insensitive. You can't do that," because it was like 2 minutes after the news of him strangling that woman came out. Because I had made this meme just as a joke, okay, and it was like preloaded. So 2 years later,
this is a joke.
2 years later, I wake up one day and I say, "It's been a while. I'm going to go over and post that over on Marvel Reddit." Okay, so I post that, auto deleted, and I go, "What the fuck was that about?" They send me the article to the news article that premiered 1 hour before I woke up about him admitting to strangling that woman. I had no idea. I had no idea. So those guys think I.
Your Honor, let the record show I did not know that she had choked that bitch before I actually posted the meme about choking the bitch.
They think I wait for Jonathan Major strangling women news to post that meme, even if it takes years. Then I come back after 2 years.
Maurice brings up a great point. Can you imagine? Could you imagine if they actually like released like this promotional photo for the movie and then the news broke like 48 hours later?
That would be so interesting, right?
There had to be a conspiracy in Hollywood, don't you know?
Holy shit.
Bob Iger lives in fear of this image.
Bob Iger got fired after that shit. Oh my god.
Now again,
that's just an alternate reality that just happened. Holy
this
shit.
Is, I guess, to get people excited. Oh, look, we're going to see people from movies that you weren't probably even born when they came out. And we're going to also have characters from movies that you have yet to see.
Rick,
yes.
We already moved on to the next topic.
Did we?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nobody told me this.
24 years ago. What is this?
Oh, we're going to go and watch a throwback video here of No Doubt invading Carlsbad High School. This was back in 2001. So here's the story about his. No Doubt was actually a pretty big band in 2001. I don't know if you guys recall this, but they were kind of almost as big as Limp Bizkit. Not quite as big as Limp Bizkit, but they were almost as big, right? So they decided, or the producers at MTV decided, it's like, hey, look, here's what we're going to do. You guys are from Orange County. Let's drive down to San Diego, pick a random high school, and have a surprise concert where we don't tell anyone that No Doubt's performing, but you guys are going to go up there live for about 10, 15 minutes. And the kids that are at the school are going to completely freak out, man, because all of a sudden No Doubt is playing like in the cafeteria area of our school, and nobody knows what's going on. So this is actually a pretty big story when it happened. And then 2001 here in San Diego, because it was at a very interesting time period, because we had like 2 school shootings in the high school during that exact same year too. So it's safe to say that we needed a little bit of publicity to offset all the violence that was going on. So it's like, hey, I got an idea. Let's call up Gwen Stefani. So here's a little bit of what happened on that fateful day back in 2001. This is how they literally conned a bunch of students into be like, oh, hey, by the way, here's this multi-million-dollar band playing at your local high school. And by the way, before I go any further, I know people are going to make this joke, but seriously, you have to consider this for a second. Imagine missing school this day on the day that No Doubt performed at your school. Imagine that one kid, that one like freshman who was just a lazy son of a bitch, didn't want to go in that day because he was supposed to do homework and didn't do it. So he thought, though, if I just skip school, I can buy myself some time. And then No Doubt performed at his school. Imagine being that guy the next morning, having to tell everyone. Here we go.
We just exited on the 78.
Okay, so did you hear me?
I'm excited, nervous.
The fact that we're playing a high school is kind of a strange environment. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
We never
To me,
graduated
this whole
high school,
idea
so
of
it's
this
all
is
a little
like
strange.
anything goes. Let's see, like it could turn out to be a big disaster. I mean, like that's the whole idea is that it's spontaneous. Actually,
Hey,
thinking
Gwen
about it, my
Stefani,
head's getting
Kurt
tingly.
Cobain, that's
We're
cool.
5 minutes out.
5 minutes.
I remember when this happened. It was a really, really big deal. We all thought we were going to get free concerts in our high school.
Ladies and gentlemen, on channel 1.
They just never happened.
School clock now says
Shootings continued,
2:05.
but
We are
that's
15 minutes away.
By the way, I do have to pause and just kind of clarify here, just in case you guys don't know how things work. When I say that they found the school in San Diego, I need to clarify just in case you guys have never been to San Diego. Carlsbad is what I like to call barely San Diego, right? Like it's literally it's as north as you can possibly get in San Diego before you hit Orange County. So it wasn't like they went deep into like the city. They didn't go to like San Diego High or like La Jolla or like Mission Bay or definitely not Hoover. No one ever wants to go to fucking Hoover, but they went to as close to the technical metropolitan San Diego area they can possibly do to go and have this concert here. And let's be honest, there was a lot of white kids there. I mean, they weren't going to go to like Lincoln or something like that.
Jacob, you're talking about schools that most of us have no idea what the body
Somebody out there knows it.
Spencer's the only one.
If Spencer's the only one, then he understands exactly what I'm saying.
Yes,
He
but
knows.
the rest of us are like, you're about all these other high schools. Is like,
Yeah.
I have no idea what these schools are like.
Well, maybe everyone's about you, Rick.
It is. Okay.
Maybe
Just
it's
like
about the
Helen
one
Mirren,
person.
Just like Bond is about.
Maybe it's about the one person who actually understands my Lincoln reference.
Okay, well, hold on a second. Like, Rick, when was the last? When did you graduate high school?
72.
1992.
I'm just because I just want to make sure that Gwen Stefani was born around the same time.
Was Starbuck still the starting quarterback when you were in high school?
Oh my God, Eureka Deep is going to show up at my school.
Yeah.
Hey, I was thrilled that Lawrence Welk popped up. Okay, so there you go.
Hey, this new hot band called Led Zeppelin is doing a pop-up show at my high school. Go ahead, Simon.
No, we got the Glenn Miller Orchestra. What are you talking about?
Was there man. Was there a Carl's Good?
I
Or is
hate
it
you
just
so much.
we just punished?
Sorry.
I don't think there was a Carl's Jr.
Waka Waka ran into that one.
Oh, it took so much to not fuck that up. Thank you for waiting for me to finish it, Rob. It took so much not to laugh mid-rip.
I want you to do me a favor. Remove this cracker from my show.
Teddy Long, everybody. Teddy Long.
I also don't want to say anything about the movie business or anything, but do you see how long that microphone is?
I mean,
Just saying. Notice it.
There we go.
05.
Have you broken it down into groups based on what you're interested in?
I'll say ALSACE hyphen LORRAINE.
Make a right on Lancer Way. When you see a sign with a
All
man
right.
with a big pole.
When we get there, weapons hot. All right, guys.
Very little time when we get there.
This is going to be the big heist of a century.
No survivors. Okay, kids. No survivors.
Dylan
This
actually
is like a Columbine video. You know that? When you look at the Columbine videos and you look at
This
this,
was
shit, it's
literally like
exact same editing process and everything.
This is literally like 2 years after Columbine too.
Right.
Oh gosh. Okay, I thought this was before.
You know how to
Like-
time things, Cider. You definitely know how to time things.
I don't know. I grew up in another part of the world.
The Australian ocean surface generates.
Oh my God,
progressive
it's
waves that radiate
Scantrons.
from the-
That's
Yeah.
old.
Epicenter.
My God.
Today we're just pulling up on Lancer Way.
on the left, so you guys know.
It's going to take an hour and a half to get
This
there.
is nothing but bad memories.
I think there's schools out
Really,
today.
I actually enjoyed
Hey, Orange,
I'm sorry. Did you have a bad experience at Carlsbad High School there, Orange?
No, it's 'cause Orange
No,
remembers
high
when
school
it was-
itself was a bad experience.
Why is that man wearing a Chinese fan on his head?
That's his little toupee. That's what I have. It's like a little
That's his
toupee.
gimmick, Cider. That's his gimmick.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think that we're gonna get there, and everyone's just gonna kind of wander around campus.
Is that Gwen
I think that
Stefani
would be
for
cool,
real?
Just to like, just be
Yes.
walking around.
Yeah.
And just
Oh, I had no
people
idea.
going,
I was
"What? Is that no doubt?"
some blonde
It's
lady.
like,
Pulling
You're
up
like
on
19.
it right now.
I think she was like 30 something there. Because
Yeah.
I mean, Gwen Stefani's in her 50s now. I mean, she's not
No doubt
those-
that's been around since the early 90s at least.
Yeah. Like their first big break, I think, was like 95. So I mean, they had been a thing for like a number of years even before.
She's forever 21.
No, Forever 21 declared bankruptcy.
Yeah. Fuck.
By the way, believe it or not, this is how old we all are. She was 31 when this video was shot. So, just throwing it out there.
I try to put myself in the high school student's shoes, walk out of class, and you're looking at the
Remember
clock
random
anyway.
black
You gotta do
exploitation
class, and all of a sudden you
soundtracks?
get to walk
Go
out
do
and see
heroin
a
around the
random live
corner
performance.
gym.
It's pretty cool.
Is that outfit too appropriate?
Oh my God!
Kids are like, oh God, there's
I do
shooters!
worry a little bit about like, you know. if
Oh my God!
everyone
Old
felt like
people.
If I were in high school, even if like anything showed up that was different from the normal day, I would be excited about it.
Wait, so they're 30 yet they still dress like they're.
We gotta make copies of the set list. It's told Cody 10 of them.
Okay.
We need to rewrite them big.
10 copies of this immediately.
Yeah, wait, we need the band.
I don't know that you can use full property to make copies.
Well, the band's got it, the front of house has it. Those are the most important people.
Not the kids. Not the kids having a good time. The most important people are the band.
What do you
See?
find laying on the floor that starts with a
Cadaver.
C-A-D? Yes, excellent. A cadaver.
So,
I don't know why
what's going on at Carlsbad? Finding a lot of dead bodies on the floor there, Carlsbad?
Right. I don't know why they brought that up. Because the school shootings keep happening. Yay!
Copy that. We are now at 2:16.
What about a teacher who said, you know what? No, you're not going to go outside and listen to No Doubt.
No, you'll get the one.
Yeah,
that
you're
person would have been fucking fired on the spot.
You're on the timeout.
It's like, I forgot to show you guys. Well, I didn't show you guys the lead up, but the principal, like the school was in on it, right? It was like they just showed up like out of nowhere. But it's like, yeah, if any teacher tried to pull that crap, it's like you would be fired on the spot. Like you would be going to Rosita. But by the time that this show is over, you would be done. No. So, like I said, Carlsbad is barely San Diego. To put it to you lightly, it would take me about 30 minutes to drive up to where Carlsbad High School was from where I was in North Park. So, yeah, it wasn't close enough for me to hop on the bus and go check things out. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Carlsbad, is it Carlsbad or Oceanside? I want to say Carlsbad is further north, but it's one of those two. But I'll figure it out later.
Okay, cue the band. Go ahead.
Go!
What the hell is that?
Who is that? We don't even know who it is.
Who is this?
Remember when all like high school white women looked like Britney Spears in 2001? Remember when that was a thing?
Look at her. She's wearing pink to high school. That's amazing.
Yep.
They have the best life.
We're starting to fill up.
Thin them out so they don't all just go.
Yep, send them out. Lay around some covering fire. We'll get you out of here.
Okay, yeah, they're playing, but they're back.
Bang, bang, there's Gwen Stefani. Bang, there's Gwen Stefani. What's their best song?
He doesn't even go to the school.
I want to see a teacher swept up in one of those
I'm personally a fan of Sunday Morning. So I have to go with my best No Doubt song.
Okay, everyone, you're going in alphabetical order. So line up in alphabetical order.
Wait, what were you gonna say, Cider?
I've never seen a school that looks like this.
Like
back then or like right now?
Ever. I've never seen a school that has
Well,
this kind of architecture and like the exterior. Like obviously I know what gloss floors look like and whatnot and fluorescent lights, but like the exterior, I've never seen like this rounded
I will say this
driveway bullshit.
I will say this real quick because this is a common thing in Southern California. Obviously, in Maine, I don't think you can get away with having schools like this because it's below freezing a lot of the times of the year. But they did this in December of 2001 in California. Like at that time of the year, it's like 70 degrees, right? So these more open air, like free high schools, you see this all the time in California.
I thought you went to one of those one school.
One classroom,
schoolhouse. Yes, one classroom where you had the bell,
school marm.
and you. Yes, that does. I imagine what Maine is like because there's nothing up there except trees.
The school I went to was actually built in 1952 to replace that overburdened single classroom. So I came this close.
If you look at the timeline though, and it's like 2 months after 9/11. Or 3 months after 9/11, it's like No Doubt, brought to you by Lockheed Martin and BlackRock. These very like neoconservative, sort of like
and then George Bush showed up and laid a sick guitar riff down.
For what it is, they can only pull this off because Carlsbad High is like notoriously like for like movies. It's like a movie studio. Like they film like whole TV shows and stuff like that on it.
Yeah,
so.
There was a big movie that got filmed there. I'm not sure if it was The Nice Guy or if it was there was another movie somewhere around the early 2000s that got filmed there too. But you're all right, they did do a few Hollywood related events there as well. But I'll have to think of it real quick.
I would know, but I'd be like, who are these people?
They told us it was a fashion show.
They told us it was a fashion show.
They told us it was something to do with gays.
Is that 10 cents advertising in the background? Oh, that's the most high school. That's the most high school 20-year-old I've ever seen.
That's a guy who he's a super senior.
Right. He stayed 3 years to help his football
Up
team.
ahead on Jam.
We can just go on to the next part. There's one last video.
So like I have to can I ask a question about this now?
Yes, go ahead.
No? Okay, so I just wanna I'm perplexed. So Californian high schools had like a back lot to just gather the most of the populace in?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have auto club and usually that's where the tennis court or the marathon running, I think.
Tennis.
We have this thing called football fields.
We had those, but like a tennis court at a school, like wow. Okay.
I mean, in Pennsylvania, I had a tennis court.
Okay.
Now let me hold on a second. Let me clarify here, because like I said, Carlsbad is in a little bit slightly more influent area, because there's schools that obviously have like tennis courts, football courts, basketball stuff like that. They have obviously a few more athletic activities than some of the normal schools would have, but there are schools out there that definitely have those.
But
like these overhang.
Cider, you could have those if you chop down some of those trees.
Well, no, I really couldn't because like the snow. it destroys everything. Really, it breaks up the roads and everything.
They added a whole lot of these kind of things also to all the urban schools and everything to try to make them have more activities and stuff. You can still see you go past all of that, the motor club and the tennis court and everything, and there's a little corner in the section is where you do the drug deals. Like outside the school.
See, we had this funny thing where we had an auditorium. You ever hear one of those?
Oh yeah.
And they always made sure that the school had a max capacity of 800, that the auditorium had a max capacity of 600. Just to make sure that you couldn't get the entire student body in there. So when I'm seeing this huge lot and these concrete stairwells and these canopies and stuff, it just blows my... I've never this doesn't look real to me. It looks like some space high school, like
That's
Xenon,
going-
the girl from the
that's
future.
Well, like I said, I'm pretty sure the architecture of like Maine high schools versus California high schools are completely entirely different. So
I would hope so. There's a few things different between them.
This is going to be on Cider's tour list. When
This is quite literally why we're doing a show in a couple of weeks about Cider's never seen shit. So
the title disclosed.
Oh, this is another good one.
A song that should never be sung to students.
That's weird. It is pretty
Oh,
weird.
come on. They're all fucking.
This song is literally about fucking sex.
I'm going to be
Yeah, no, I
completely
know what
honest with you. There's far worse songs you can sing to high school students in 2001. This
You
is
know,
even the
P.
top
Diddy
10.
could be doing this concert.
It's called Wrong
Let's
Way by
put that-
Sublime.
Or R. Kelly, you know, either one.
That's true.
This was literally like few months before To the Window to the Wall. So
Oh no!
I'm confused. Why is this song objectionable to teens?
Oh boy!
And the boys hit the
That's about
girls in the
ass sex.
back.
Yeah, it talks about ass sex. That's what Orange is offended.
Ass
Oh my
sex.
god, dude! Did you see how hot
This
this
is
body is?
basically a song about endorsement of anal sex.
Yeah,
Remember
well.
video cameras?
What was that about? They seem to enjoy it.
See, I always thought this song was about them meeting up behind the club to like smoke and hang
That's what I
out.
thought.
Oh, okay.
That's what I thought too.
No,
Yeah, that's it.
it's about popping that brown
Sorry.
apple.
I don't know what you guys were thinking.
I'm sorry.
I'm reading too much into this.
No. It's about straight caramel and that brown apple.
This makes the school dances when this was playing really weird now. As I go back and like everybody's singing along to it, I'm like, wow, these guys are really hanging out in the back of these clubs. Something's going on. All right.
But the kids are having a good time.
I can't tell you how weird I
The
feel.
teenagers
right
are
now.
just
Now that I know.
moshing. To no doubt.
It's the high school. That's the football
That is a
team.
little eccentric. Take care.
Good night. Good luck with the emergency.
We were coming up on the last few minutes anyway. So.
You guys are amazing. But I just want to know you sing on this next one, okay?
I want to remind you all about safe sex and abstinence now.
Well, modern country is just pop music anyway. So
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Yay! This is their best song.
Jump here, Gwen! Jump here!
by the way, just in case you notice, yes, the mascot, they are called the Lancers.
Yes.
Oh no!
All the dudes in there.
This means that Brie Larson's character's in the crowd.
This is Brie Larson's origin story.
When I went to see Captain Marvel with my Tommy friend, even she thought that was Are we gonna hit the blockbuster after this?
It's a Wednesday, so they gotta end school early. So that's why they skip in the middle of the song. Yeah, that dude's 25.
No.
Wait a minute, what?
He's screaming, "Marry me."
Okay, fair enough. I'm probably gonna be on the same page.
Sir, that is a 30-year-old woman. There will be charges. I just wanted to let you know.
Hey, you
on her,
had
not
a good
you,
age
that's
gap
you.
between Sydney Sweeney and her ex.
Yeah, that's another thing. I hate to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy. You notice how most of the kids back then looked somewhat normal?
Yeah.
They don't look like criminals in the making, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. They didn't look like Mad Max villains back then.
GTA characters. One of them's already balding and he's 17 years old, you know?
There was no they thems back then. It was great.
You notice the lack of cell phones too?
Yep. Before the cell
They're
phone.
actually enjoying the show.
Yep. Well, no one's hopping on the Instagram being like, "Oh my God, Gwen Stefani's here." It was like you were there. If you missed it, you missed it.
The students at Carlsbad High School
got the surprise of a lifetime today when MTV held a surprise concert.
That was so cool.
That
Nothing
just
cool
shows
ever
that the
happened
media is
here.
completely contingent on each other.
Ever done.
This is the greatest thing that's ever happened.
Your school's kind of cool.
and there was no doubt everyone was pleasantly shocked.
What happened?
I see what you did there.
Remember Cocaine?
Yeah, this is probably my favorite No Doubt song.
I knew about 10 seconds into it. As soon as that curtain came down and everyone just moved over, it was amazing. That was phenomenal, yeah. What an amazing audience, you know? They were strong from the start.
I loved it. They were so amazing, so natural. They talked about cities all day. It was great.
They had a lot of energy. It was like they were kids or
Nothing
something.
feels better than going up on stage and having a show go really well and feeling like you've made that connection. You know what I mean? Everyone kind of like rocks.
It's really nice of
together
Kurt
and
Cobain
on
to
the same
perform
vibe.
with Gwen
That's the best
Stefani.
feeling.
I know he was really busy at the time. Thank you, Carl's Jr.
Don't forget to tip your waitress.
Up yours, Springfield.
Everyone is going to hear about this. Everyone, Carlsbad,
Go,
all the other
sir.
schools, San Diego County, everywhere.
I'd say it's the best concert ever.
It was free and everything, guys.
Listen to our song right now, and now she's at my school, and I'm like,
Oh my God.
We got the playlist. You probably still have the
I did not think the kids were going to be
But that used to be a goth, too.
Did you?
That was the best concert or time ever in high school. Hell yeah!
They kick ass.
In high school?
They kick ass. I swear to
Is
God.
middle school better
The
for you?
nerdy girl.
You know, I saw NWA in middle school, but this is pretty good too.
Yeah, right? You know?
Exactly.
They did a literal takeover of my high school.
I was there when Tupac was still in Digital Underground, but
Yeah. It was the same
Biggie
song.
came, Biggie came and put a gun to my principal's head, but you know, this is cool.
Biggie started performing Who Shot You right before he got shot.
Right in my gym class.
That's what it is here at Compton
Tupac
High.
showed up with the dodgeball. Said
Yeah.
duck, bitch.
Dodgeball.
Spencer understood my earlier joke about Lincoln High School. Go back and watch like the first 20 minutes of this whole bit, and you'll understand all the schools I mentioned there. But yeah, there's the end of it.
I won't.
My favorite part was walking through the campus. I wish that could have been longer. That was so fun.
I wish I could stay with the children longer.
I wish we could have done something like this when I was in high school.
I am going to go kiss the stage that No Doubt was on because it's the first live performance I've ever seen. And it was so cool. It was at my school. Go figure.
All right.
Young Billie Eilish.
Don't do that. Don't show. Ah!
Oh my goodness.
Oh, great. It was a little hot, but that's okay.
That's forever.
She's wearing the Limp Bizkit pants. Did you guys catch that? She was wearing the Limp Bizkit
I was
pants.
saying, she's
All she needed was like the red cap, and then
go back to the nerd. The nerd was cool too. Everyone was cool here.
Yeah, like I said, normal looking high school kids, ladies and gentlemen.
Other schools, San Diego County, everywhere.
I'd say it's the best concert ever.
Head here, she's awesome. Like you can tell this. She's gonna let you borrow her pencil. You want to ask? That used to be goth chicks. Dressing like that used to be goth chicks.
I did not think the kids were going to be that awesome. Did you?
That was the best concert or time ever in
Immigrant
high school.
slumber.
Hell yeah!
And that kid.
Look at this. Look, the nerdy girl even looks normal. She's
Young Thor.
Yeah, she's
Daria
like
here-
she's
Daria
like
here
late
looks funny.
'90s nerd. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you know,
She had the Prince Valiant haircut.
She's got a collection
I
of
can hear him.
goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like her.
I wish we could have done something like this when I was in high school.
I am gonna go kiss the stage that No Doubt was on because it's the first live performance I've ever seen, and it was so cool. I was at my school. Go figure. Go, dude, go.
Go figure.
Their reunion.
Meanwhile, like 2 hours before, the fattest kid in the school was sitting right there, sweating his balls off.
Oh, wait a minute. What's going on here?
Meanwhile, there's some poor kid sitting at home who has a fever and wasn't allowed to go to school this day, and he's just getting the icky from his friends like later
parents,
on.
his parents didn't sign. They didn't sign the No Doubt parent permission slip.
Right.
Yep.
He had a dentist appointment at 12.
Yeah, so that was a little trip back to 2001, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, it looks somewhat normal. All you have to do is just go back and ask yourself what happened. And the question is, I think we know. Anything to add here before we wrap things up and get on out of here?
That was awesome.
Nothing?
I liked it.
All right,
was
then.
great.
Well, it's time to give you guys a spotlight so you can all go home. So we'll start here with Rob.
Some kid was homesick with SARS. I like that from 2001.
Wow.
That was like
That's a
the one
throwback.
big. I was like 12, when 9/11 happened. So it's great to have those memories of fear-inducing culture. As always, I've got absolutely nothing going on. You can always follow me over my Twitter. Hopefully, some new movies are coming out here in April, including the sequel to The Accountant, which I can't believe I'm saying that I'm looking forward to. Alex Garland's Warfare. I feel like there's another movie in April that's coming out that I thought might not be terrible, but we'll see. This is not. I feel like I say this every year. 2023 was a bit of a reprieve, but this has just been a really bad year. The Braves are 0-5 and starting a series with the Dodgers, so that's great.
Oh, and they just got a guy suspended for 80 games.
For 80 games, yeah. That was their number one free agent target in the offseason, so that's great. So yeah, things professionally, things are doing are going very well for me, but my personal life is just and by personal life I mean my hobbies and interests just in the crapper right now. But as always, follow me over my Twitter. Hopefully we'll have an interesting movie watching month.
All right, then let's go ahead and swing over to Mr. Eddie Brock.
I found out that Spencer can't hear me. Yeah, I have a new room now. Like, it's not my garage or my lair or whatever, so I can subset my room. So I probably got to get a new microphone and everything, not use the webcam mic anymore. What's going on?
Philistine.
Well, I got to get out of the basement. You got to get some sunlight. It's spring, right? It's April Fool's.
Yeah, if you come out and see your shadow, do we get 6 more weeks of winter?
I get to see my shadow. Hell, I could barely see my. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about it. I can't say. I just wanted to say you can catch me at Eddie Brock _YT at Twitter. And am I doing anything? I might have something interesting to talk about next week, but yeah, just me and my shadow.
Well, I'm officially starting my Best Actress retrospective, where I will be watching all the Best Actress Academy Award winning performances and then ranking them. I'm also close to finishing my Peter O'Toole retrospective. I've got one more movie before I do a general overview, and then I'll go back and review all the other nominees and see why he lost and maybe whether he should have won, and he should have won at least 2. So that's pretty much it. More reviews, and we'll see what comes out in this month. I'm not looking forward to anything. Maybe looking forward to seeing the David Lynch Dune in theaters. So other than that, that's pretty much it. Thank you, everyone.
I don't remember the things you remember. And apparently in a couple of weeks, we're doing a show where you're going to remind me of that frequently. So that's going to be fun. Possibly for both of us. Mostly for you guys, though, because you'll know what's going on, and I won't. But I do know what's going on tomorrow at 8 p.m. over on the Bounding Into Comics channel. That's right, it's Wednesday, in case you forgot. Not tonight. Tomorrow night's Wednesday. Don't get it twisted. Anyway, 8 p.m., we're talking about a whole bunch of stuff going on over there with anime stuff, Japanese culture. And then at 9 p.m., there are apparently a lot of internal leaks coming out of Ubisoft right now. There's chaos left, right, upside down, and backwards going on with that company as they birthed the new company, took all the valuable things away from Ubisoft, and then nobody knows what's going on. So tune in to find out what's going on tomorrow at 8 p.m. on the Bounding Into Comics channel. Thanks.
Is it still April? It's still. You said it was Wednesday.
What happened to April, Eddie? We just left March.
What?
So anyway, I might be on that show or not. Who knows? Who cares? So go check out Bounding Into Comics.
According to Eddie.
But yeah, so we got that show tomorrow. And me and Cider are actively working on a show that should hopefully be ready in the next week or two, where we basically go back and watch old nostalgic stuff. I saw some of you guys really like some of the throwback stuff we'll see here. We're going to show Cider a whole bunch of stuff that he missed out on, because apparently he lived a very suppressed childhood. Yes, quite literally.
He went outside instead of being a real child and watched television all day.
His best friend was a woodpecker named Woody. So, so yeah, we're gonna work on that show. That should be a very entertaining show coming out in the next couple of weeks. So we got that coming up Sunday. I got the Bible in, so we're gonna talk more about Calvinism while Calvinism is false. So that should be fun because I know you guys love that. And then next Tuesday we'll be back here again talking about the stuff of the week, and maybe I'll find another entertaining old video for us all to reminisce about. Now, this is the part of the show where I hit the outro just to go ahead and get out of here. Thank all you people for going here. But I think instead of doing a traditional outro, I should just play this video right here. Now, I'm not going to tell you exactly what happens in said video. I'm just going to allow you guys to experience. This was earlier tonight. This was not an April Fool's joke. This was a competition that happened here in Atlanta, and yeah, it went about as well as you think it's going to happen.
And then they are ready for the take 5 more change tic-tac-toe game. Now, this is a basketball game, so we had to add some basketball in it. They have to make a layup in order to get a game piece. Once they grab their game piece, they'll place it on the board, and the first to get all 5 game pieces or tic-tac-toe will be our winner. So, what? James, Daz, are you ready?
I don't know. They're going to play Connect 4 in the middle of basketball court.
Yeah. Like Battleship or something? Oh, that guy is dead. He's in a wheelchair forever.
Jiminy crickets.
Oh, that looks like that hurts a lot. Did he dislocate his knee?
Tore his ACL.
This guy's still going. He's like, fuck that bitch.
That was absolutely incredible.
LeVar Bell over here.
He's still going. Like, is that okay? He's like, okay. Should I keep going?
Who's the best? Oh, snap, man. You know what, though? The guy playing the basketball thinks he's the guy on the floor is the real winner when the lawsuit is coming after this.
Will you, lady, have some sympathy?
Hey, get over there.
Show must go on.
That's how bitches be.
That's how they ended it. That's how they ended
it. Jacob, you gotta take her face and make that into a sticker for your channel. Into a react emoji for your channel, dude. You gotta make that into a custom react emoji. That's perfect.
She had her hand
face, you know, almost there at the end. No, back a little bit more where she's like looking dead on into the camera with it.
Yeah.
It looks like that meme with the mouse. It looks that way and then looks at the camera.
Yeah. Right. So Unc literally just tore his ACL live television at the Hawks game and had to be medically carried out of the arena. So,
do you think they're liable for his medical?
They are.
No. Don't they sign a release?
No,
not for his content.
They're going to be liable for it.
That's why she did. That's why she doesn't know what to say.
Put it to you this way: if they don't sign a release before now, they're going to start doing it after this.
So look, like the reason why she doesn't know what to say is because the control room is just fuck. That's all you can hear.
You know, see if he's okay, but don't touch him.
How does that fucking happen? He didn't even get one shot.
He was wearing Jordans, for God's sake.
He didn't take one step.
The arena's closed next week. You know, it's just gone.
It's like, bro, how do you tear your ACL on a layup?
Oh, man.
I gotta play it one more time.
Even Shaq's like, damn.
What and immediately.
Now you know someone's gonna edit a red shell from Mario Kart into that and get him out.
The other guy should have been like, I still win, right?
I still get the car, right?
That guy's laying down. I'm gonna win this.
Oh, man.
He's not grabbing his chest and he ain't dying. I'm gonna win this.
He knows something's gone. He grabbed that knee immediately. He's like, God,
That poor man is there grumbling in pain, and all of them are laughing.
That's why
laughing and
it's
us
good.
laughing, you know?
He's holding it like
This is
Fred
great.
Sanford.
Okay.
Goddamn, please.
That's his
injury.
That's his ACL, his PCL, his MCL, his LCL.
Yeah.
And his humanity.
See, I don't know if I'm the only person who's had a serious knee injury, and really, I just dislocated my kneecap and had to get like relocated. But it's one of those things where you're on the ground thinking, really? I was doing a lunge, and this is what happens. And after the fact, you can laugh about it, which is the whole thing. It's like if you've been there, you know how fucked it is. But also after the fact, you're like, fuck that guy.
Yeah, right. Fuck that guy.
This is how I died today, huh?
You just have it like turn black and white, and then how could this happen to me?
Yeah.
How hilarious would it have been if the other guy just went full Drago and just starts celebrating like if he dies, he
He
dies.
comes over and starts dunking on his side of the basketball court. Like, get up, fight back, fight back, fight back.
You ain't hurt. Stop playing.
You want your girlfriend to come do the layups for you?
He grabs his knee. Ah, my
Poor
chest.
man. He didn't deserve this. He just wanted to do like a fun, stupid thing. Probably wanted to show off to his kids.
This is literally like a plot for like several sitcoms. It's like when you go to the one basketball game and you embarrass yourself during the halftime event.
This is a geriatric PSA. Remember, you need to stretch, even to get the soda can out of the vending machine. All right.
Even the floor is giving a big frown at this whole thing.
Yep.
But the moral of the story is, folks, that the next time you do an event like this, hire teenagers who are less likely to injure themselves due to rudimentary movements.
Yeah, like lady, she's like, look at the crowd. Like, anybody here is an AARP candidate? Did you get an AARP invitation? We're looking for you.
Yeah. It's like, well, I guess you win. And it's like, I guess the competition's over now. That's it.
I will say that they.
Look at her. She's reporting on the president being shot. She's like,
down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
Female Secret Service is hiding behind the president now. You know. Well, they did choose her right though. She's got quite a caboose on her, so I know why she's up there.
Well, I mean, it is Atlanta, so you gotta be.
It's caboose.
I don't know what that means, so I'm going to assume
It means
that's
it's a very black town. They like the big booties. That's what.
Have you ever left Maine? Have you ever
For reference, if you ever go to downtown Atlanta at any point in your life, you will literally see more black people in a mile radius than you have ever seen in your lifetime ever. That includes in real life, on television, in print. It's a very, very chocolate.
So when that rapper said it was Wakanda, he wasn't kidding, right?
Right. Yeah, the entire 13% resides in the whole city.
Yeah. I think the downtown area is like 75% black, just in case you guys didn't know. So
I love Atlanta.
Are they all near the World of Coca-Cola? Because that's one of the places.
literally the arena they're in right now is right next door to the Coca-Cola building. So just in case you didn't know.
Okay, perfect. So maybe I'll hit up a Hawks game.
Okay, no one cares. Night show's over. Good night, everybody.